following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
For a wild ride in Alabama, it is your chance to enjoy Sim500 and race number 8 tonight of the NCA11.org Cup Series. As we say, Sweet Home Alabama at Talladega Superspeedway here on iRacing virtually. We welcome you into the Captain Esports Network and what is going to be one of the wilder races, I believe, of the season here at Talladega. One of the longest races on the schedule. And we are set to have at least 40 cars going racing here tonight for 250 miles of action. And for the 14th race at Talladega Superspeedway in Sim500 in the Cup Series, we get ready to go here from the track that was actually first known as Alabama International Raceway. I'm the captain. We welcome you in to what is going to be a Monday night to remember, I think, when it's all over with, especially coming off a Pocono race last night. That is one to remember. I still, to this day, and to this moment, think that was the wildest Pocono race I've ever seen. So does that sum into the wildest Talladega race we potentially ever see? Well, that's for them to know and us to find out when it's all over with. But 94 laps coming up here shortly. Kevin England, of course, is in the booth with me. Kevin, getting ready to rock and roll here this evening. And whew, man, this is a track. I actually ran NIS myself this week because I like running the super speedways. And unfortunately, I fell victim to getting I went 0 incident points the first 75 laps. I proceeded to be black flagged for having too many incident points by lap 94. So it can go up to down just like that at this track. It's that wild.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Won the first pole ever for NIS this week and got a top 10 with limited incident points, but that's not what we're going to see here tonight. This is a horse of a different color running Talladega. 2.66 miles, 3 wide, all the way around here, like a pace lap, but at 200 miles an hour. And all it takes is one little slip. And I have to say, and given you raced in NIS, you know the way this car behaves, it's twitchy. Yeah, the front end's a little square, a little easier to push, but this is no walk in the park. This should be a rather interesting thing. And the big one, yeah, we're going to see it tonight for sure.
Well, believe it or not, there was actually a slight mistake made in the race setup tonight because usually they've been running the afternoon session in Sim500 with the host or with the standard default weather of iRacing. Well, whoops, they made it noon today. So it's a slightly bit hotter track temp right now as it usually is out there at the beginning of this race. So I think it's going to be a little more slicker than we even think when we get out there. But I had some inside information tell me also, Kev, that Thursday night's GOAT race, if that is any sign of what's to come here tonight in 94 laps, it could be, again, one of the best Talladega races we've ever seen on the Captain Esports Network, and you and I have watched together. So, I don't know, man. We might have to have our popcorn and anything snack-wise ready to roll.
Yeah, this racetrack is one of those mental case racetracks because I believe you need to qualify and you need to race hard from the start. The track yields itself to the pack being split up. You have to not lose the draft, but you got to race so aggressively that you subject yourself to damage to the car. And so you can't figure out, should I go fast or should I slow down? Should I go fast or should I slow down? You just have to kind of read the tea leaves and see if you could figure out the best way to get through to put yourself in position in the win. You know what it's like. The last 2 laps is really the moment you're trying to get to.
The Clash said it best. Should I stay or should I go now? But either way, tonight should be good. Let me hit you with a couple of numbers here for you as we look at the point standings. Kevin King leads by 51 over Tyler Dalton. Mike Kelly right there. Chad Coleman. All three of them within 5 points of each other. Josh Parker, Richard Beasley. You go down to that 20th position right now. That is the cutoff. You see Fuller, he's already in, and he's only made half the starts this season. Joe Hudson right now on the bubble. Wesley Donaldson finally snapping that slump that he's been in outside of his win at Atlanta. Gains 11 spots up to 21st after last week's race, and it sits right there on the bubble. But you look at those numbers, everybody from 21st down to 28th, 7 spots with a 12-point separation. That is it right now. It is tight. Still got plenty of races to go, but Talladega can help make or break your season, especially if you can find a way to victory lane when this thing's over with. So, Kev, 13 races going into tonight here at Talladega on the Cup side of the Sim500 Cup side. Yeah. We have had 11 different winners in the 13 races. We have had an average of 4 cautions and an average of 35 lead changes per race.
I think that sums up how dynamic this season has been with the different winners, with the different lead changes, the strategy of the race last week, Texas, and everything we've seen. Therefore, you can't really predict the outcome, and it's not been a single note race. Sometimes you get a certain set of drivers and they seem to dominate every week, but we've seen different drivers come and go all season long, and it just adds to the excitement of, how is this going to work tonight? You have no idea.
You're absolutely right. And obviously we don't know until each lap is going to be different. One lap, you could be the leader. Next lap, you could be 30th. And the next lap, you could be in a wreck. It all comes down to what you can control. And it's not much. You don't have much you can control. I mean, watching on screen right now, somebody just spun all the way from the outside lane into tri-oval. Anything can happen anywhere on the track. And, pit road is going to be interesting tonight. You go back to Daytona earlier this season, pit stops were, we were watching the pit stop follies, it seemed like, during that race. But I think there's just so much that can happen tonight. And the only thing you can really control is you driving your car. Outside of that, who knows what can happen.
Yeah, tradition says the yellow line is your friend. You want to hug that yellow line, just get in line and ride. But when the time comes to go, the middle and the outside is the place to be. And so these drivers are going to test the run, see how they can get their track position. I expect them to be extremely aggressive on the outside from the get-go. And this is not a crew, for whatever it's worth, they're not the crew to ride, as we can tell by the massive melee down there in turn 1. They're going to test the boundaries every lap. It's really strange because sometimes, Chris, you want to say to them, you got 700 miles to go. What are you doing? But they can't help themselves.
This series is different. Most series, yes, I am that guy that's like, man, you've got so much time to go to get to where you want to get to. But these guys don't know that. It's like they've been around each other for so long that it's like we're just used to this, and this is our norm. It's kind of like going through Atlanta traffic. It's like that's their norm is, going through at 7 wide and traffic being stopped, and they almost put it as part of their plan when it's all over with. So there you go. We got you ready for the race here. Now let's go down to qualifying down on the track, which of course is presented by 811. Know what's below and call before you dig as cars slowly start to roll out here. I've been told by some inside information that the first lap depending on how you run it, is going to be your fast lap. But that doesn't mean that people are not going to be out there running 2 laps trying to get whatever fastest time they can. So we'll have to see. As let's see, get some cars up to speed here. Bobby Wetzel, Randy Yoakum, Chad Coleman out here on the track, and you tell me, you got your first pole here. How do you run a qualifying lap here at Talladega?
Right, what he's doing up there. You run high through 3 and 4, hold the car up, down the front straightaway. As soon as you get to the trioval, you're going to turn down and use the advantage of driving down the banking. Let the car roll up just a little bit. Here you would arc it down. He's going to run high. And then you point it to the yellow line on the entry. You don't want to turn in. You want to be angled to go in. Hug that yellow line. Let the car roll up off of the corner here in turn 2. Just fade up to the middle. If you try to hold it down, it scrubs off the speed. And from the point he's at right here, he should be looking down the track, the yellow line on the entry to turn 3, and just gradually pointing the car all the way down till, boom, hit that yellow line right on the entry. Carve the corner best you can. Out of turn 4 here, the apex of the corner turns a little sharper, if you know what I mean, and you have to turn the car left to hug that yellow line, let it float off, and then just turn down here right to the Geico mark. Maybe you have the left sides down and roll off to the start-finish line, and you lapped yourself in to the pole right there.
There you go, 52.99 with an 8. That's well said. I mean, you explained it perfectly. Wesley Donaldson up there in the pole with a 99 with a 2. I wondered if the 8s would be a pole lap, but the track's warming up here, so it started to make me wonder if a 9 or even a 53 flat would get you to pole right now. But there is one kind of there's 2 lines we got to watch at here for who's going to be the guy to beat when it comes to on the track. Wesley Donaldson is one. Believe it or not, he is out there, and the lap he ran, he's been getting some lessons. And apparently Thursday night in the GOAT race, he won the pole over Tyler Dalton, which there's only one other guy we know. Well, Joe Hudson in Daytona in February, but there's only one other guy we know of that's beaten Tyler Dalton for the pole on a super speedway, and that's Tommy Ryan. And I'm not even sure Tommy is here in this race here tonight. So, Wesley might have set the mark here with a 99 with a 2.
Yeah, I know that Tommy knocked on the door to see if he could race tonight, but there's a long list. He was standing in line, and you can't let one in and not let the rest in, so they politely declined letting some of these drivers come in just to protect point racers and other things. It's a good problem to have for Sim500 when drivers are knocking on the door to see if they can get in an ad hoc start for the event. And I think as the season bears on, more and more of that will come. But for here tonight, they protected the large field that we have at hand, and I think we're going to see an outstanding race.
Oh, look at this. Daryl Young. He's in the purple. Who's this guy? Across the line. Pretty spiffy paint scheme.
Third,
52.99 with a 9. Okay. I don't know if this is the same Daryl that's been like throwing money at me on my streams and stuff lately. And there goes Tyler. 52.99 with a 1. I mean, that's 8 1,000ths of a second between first to fourth.
yeah.
If you can click your fingers in 8 1,000ths of a second, I'm impressed.
Well, we saw it on the broadcast yesterday. The entire field running 200 miles an hour within 2 seconds of each other from nose to tail of the caboose. And we're going to see the same thing here tonight at the virtual Talladega. Is these drivers, they know how to get around here. There's a lot of angst in running this racetrack, and I suspect we're going to see teammates being teammates tonight. Not so much with the car makes, Camaro versus Ford versus Toyota and so on, but I believe you are going to see the Mafia and Team Name and other teams working together, because that strategy does play a role in your ability to be successful, especially coming to the end of the race.
I'm a little confused here. You said you saw yesterday 200 miles an hour speeds. What were you watching, the last 5 laps?
Yeah, I don't.
Because they were running like 170 the other parts. But anyways, it is the same Daryl Young. He's confirmed in chat.
200.
Right, yeah. All right.
You don't call it restrictor plate, so what do you call it?
It's super speedway racing now because you use taper spacers.
Yeah, there's some sort of name for what they're not allowed to say
no.
restrictor plate anymore.
Well, you and I will discuss that off the air. Right now, though, we got to go to the national anthem. Let's go trackside.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, as we get ready to go, 41 cars going to line them up here for the starting lineup here at Talladega Superspeedway. Let's take a look at it. Tyler Dalton gets another pole, number 200 and something, as he starts alongside Wesley Donaldson, the guy he's been kind of training to qualify, and look what he did. Chad Coleman, great qualifying effort. His last win came at this track 2 years ago in the Cup Series. He starts third alongside Darrell Young Jr. Representing, oh, I see why now. Okay, this makes sense. Harpoon Design Racing, so that's Brantley Rhodes and Chad. It all comes together now. Good to see you guys, by the way. Glenn Campbell, EJ O'Rourke. EJ, the highest finishing driver on a super speedway in Sim500. That is a true fact, by the way. As they start pulling off pretty quickly here. That was a quick lap. Did they do like a half lap or something? Anyways, 94 laps. And 250 miles as they come to the green flag already. I'm like, wait, that was very quick coming to the green. As the field is spread out and everything here. Green flag from Talladega Superspeedway. Yeah. We must have started on the backstretch or something.
I have to call out that Brian Workman had place to start.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, didn't even get to go through
Nice
the lineup there.
qualifying for him.
A lot of good qualifiers. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And already Tyler Dalton's fallen to fifth, and we've got tandems up front.
Yeah, nose to tail, side by side, going into turn 3, banking right now. Drivers just trying to get the feel for this first lap, trying to feel their car out, find their teammates. I think in the beginning we tend to see a little more space.
We almost had a wreck up front.
Happen. Come off of turn 4, the car's going to get a little sideways. You see drivers juke below that yellow line quite frequently, trying to catch it over there.
Donaldson leads lap 1. And, uh-oh, I'm sensing shoot, top side. Top 5, top 4 already single file here. One car, Brian Macklin to the
bottom. Macklin, yeah. That's an option where every once in a while you say you just don't want to be there. You know, one of the things we need to talk about, Chris, is fuel mileage. These drivers running up front, they're burning because they're flat foot. Everybody in the back can run half to 3/4 throttle using the draft to save fuel. And we never know, if you stay green through this whole thing, that fuel mileage might be a play in here. So up front, you see somebody like Macklin drop out of the draft. Likely it's a fuel mileage strategy getting them that way.
3 laps in the books already, and we've got single file all the way back to 10th position right now. Very interesting to see this train lining up already. I mean, the only thing I worry about you saying fuel mileage here, we don't need these guys going 180 mile an hour. Let these guys rip. 2 different packs, though. Got about 15 cars or so in this lead pack. And then Robert Fryery back there leading a second pack as single file with Wesley. I don't know if this was part of the plan for Wesley to get that train rolling up top, but that's exactly what he's done here so far.
By the way, we were doing 198 Tyler Dalton down the backstretch. I think that high line is the place to be, but you burn more fuel up there. But certainly from a speed standpoint. Now, one thing we're not going to talk about here tonight is tire wear. Tire wear generally is not a factor at this racetrack. You can run the entire race, for all intent and purposes, from the green flag to the finish and never change a tire. And your percentage of tire wear would still be in the 90% range. So drivers will change tires just to make their headspace feel good, but they really don't need to.
So I checked back really quickly. As you see the weather, I'm putting it up there since we didn't show the race information before the race. Track temp at 135 right now degrees as 21 drops all the way down to the bottom there from the top side, being E.J. O'Rourke in that 21 car. I was starting to say before I got surprised by the green flag. They did, by the way, roll from the back straightaway. That's why it was like, why did it seem so quick coming to the green? E.J. O'Rourke has the best finishing position out of all drivers with at least 25 super speedway starts. Ask me now.
How do you know?
SimRacer Hub's website, by the way. Thank you for those guys for putting all this work together. But E.J. O'Rourke actually is one of 4 drivers that have started all 13 and now 14 races in the series here at Talladega. Mike Kelly, Joey Jattina, Chad Coleman, your other 3.
There's something to be said about the way EJ races these racetracks. He's like Earnhardt. You can see the air. And he's one of the most aggressive drivers in the field. And for every race he wins, he causes the big one or has a play in nicking somebody. He'll be the first one to tell you that, you know, every once in a while it doesn't go his way, but he is exciting to watch. Although he's down 10 spots running in 16th right now, and now starting to see a little action, that inside line forming. It's a given. They're not going to want to sit and ride. They generally don't. They're going to want to come up front.
Barbara Pinion checking in on the Facebook page for Sim500. Of course, cheering a faster pastor who's in here this evening. And hello to Barbara. Hello to, as we mentioned, Brantley Roden earlier. And shout out Harpoon Design, Daryl Young watching. And Atomic Burrito, Mr. Jason, Wesley Donaldson spotter, is doing his best. TJ Majors right now, right? 71 off your rear, about car length or 2. This would be the track where I kind of wish I could get into a channel with them and let Jason's voice just be heard, so you can hear what the spotters sound like on here.
It would be cool.
It would be kind of cool, but yeah, either way. So I noticed we got some dueling New York paint schemes tonight. We've got, of course, the usual Anthony Calantoni, 3rd car outside line in the Talking Giants podcast, number 84 car. Then I go back here to Jose Gonzalez, the New York Mets paint scheme.
I have to say that
might strike out.
That's sharp.
Yeah, I do like it.
That is sharp.
It is pretty spiffy looking. Now, he needs I don't know of any famous 26s from the Mets, though. I mean, if he ran like 44 or 31 or a number 45, I guess you go with that one. I mean, 26, that...
There's something classic about the dark over white with the back panel dark. There's something about that scheme. It's the cleanest looking, you know, paint scheme as far as I'm concerned. And that car is really sharp.
It does. And you being from Jersey, you might be able to relate to this, but you know, I'm married into a family that's all from New York and Italian family, awesome family. And you know, my father-in-law taught me that growing up, it was, you had like a fans that were one side or the other. And what I mean by that was you had the Jets fans who were usually Islander fans that were usually Mets fans. And then you had the Yankee fans who were usually the Giants fans who were usually the Rangers fans. And it's kind of weird because you look at the Mets and the Giants, they have like matching uniforms. And even the Rangers.
Yeah, it is kind of split that dynamic. I agree with it.
And a lot of the Mets fans now were old Brooklyn Dodger fans from that generation because when Brooklyn took off to L.A., they had to cheer on somebody.
Yeah, it's very similar to the way New Jersey is. The top half roots for New York teams and the bottom half roots for Philadelphia teams. You split right through the middle in our region.
What about the Jersey team, though?
Well, that's the funny thing is we all thought the Giants play at the
Wait a
Meadowlands.
minute. Well, true.
Hold on a minute. That's New Jersey.
It's
Yeah.
true. So the pack's coming together now as we're starting to see the work of all the single file lines. As you see David Comstock running a new paint scheme tonight. He's gone to the alcoholic version of Monster Energy. It's the Nitro Beast car. And I actually learned something with this, which makes a lot of sense health reasons wise. Believe it or not, there is not a single ounce of energy when it comes to caffeine and stuff in the Beast product because of apparently regulations or whatever, because there's alcohol in it, you can't put caffeine in it or something of the sort. Yeah. So there's like nothing outside of the branding really that matches up as other. Sucker hole for Comstock.
He's got the 22 car sitting there. It almost looks like, from a perspective of driving, Rivera is choosing to be in that middle line. He had all the opportunity on a couple occasions of pulling out and stayed right there.
Here's Kevin. Mr. Excitement on the super speedways. Kevin DeBrown goes to the front. And again, I repeat myself. How many leagues race like this on a super speedway at lap 11?
Yeah.
Not many. Oh. EJ about got turned, I think, there in the middle. Oh, man. You got 38 cars all sitting in this pack right now.
Yeah, it's crazy when you're inside the car and you get such a run. One of the dynamics of this particular car is the draft is incredible, and you see so many different checkups. Meaning the cars in front of you stop, and you can only see the spoiler back of the car in front of you, and all of a sudden they're on the brakes. You step on the brake, the car runs into the back of you. Hopefully you just nick and bang each other, but every once in a while it actually leads to someone turning someone. So as the race goes on, we know that they're going to get tighter. Right now they're leaving a little gap out the front. Hopefully they have a little gap out the back, but as you see the quarter car length spacing between these cars, at the end of the race they'll be bumper to bumper. Physically.
And the side draft has really picked up in these cars. One of the updates apparently has improved the side draft, and little did I know until tonight, as up in the wall almost, was Wetzel there got his nose chopped off by, I think that's Mons. Just watching and talking to the guys qualifying, they were out there running laps during practice and running qualifying laps. We had a car that had just rolled off pit road. And I'll go ahead and use the example here. Wesley Donaldson was out there running laps. Right, he runs a 99 with a 1 across the line in his qualifying lap. He goes out there in practice and runs a 97, or I'm sorry, a 79. And I was in there, and Tyler Dalton's like, "Where'd that come from?" And he's like, "You got to have some draft with that." And we're like, and he's like, "Nobody was on the track, or it was one car coming off pit road." And we learned that car coming off pit road made 2 100ths of a second on qualifying. Like, not even on the track. That's the side draft coming into play. So you're going to see, look at right there, Kevin Brown squeezing through. Got the wall a little bit there. And Darrell Young trying to protect a little bit. Here comes Mons to the inside as Wesley gets stuck. Teammates on the bottom there. Ancient World Gaming. It's probably the ultimate team building effort right there as the 41 and 5 go to the front.
This is that odd track that you see so many lane changes and lead changes, but they only score them at the line. Darrell Young, third different leader here tonight, leading lap number 14, but there might be 4 leaders by the time they get back to the start-finish line.
Please note that Kevin is using about 17 sheets of paper tonight for lead changes as Fuller pushes Dalton out front, and Dalton gets a little loose off of Fuller. So Fuller had to jump out of line, and those two are going to get eaten up. They're going to be 4 wide across the line here. That simple bobble cost both Dalton and Fuller.
Mons on that one.
He keeps track over there, guys. He's easily one of the best statistician, just note takers when it comes to broadcasters that I know of so far.
Let me talk about a note. Ready? Who's the saltiest veteran? Who's the
Does his name start with an M and end with Kelly?
these guys? Some of them. The Iron Man, the point leader, Mr. Super Speedway, Coleman, King, Beasley. They've been riding out back, just cruising. They're not in the mix in this scrum. That's longevity at play. That's veteran move of, go ahead, have at it, boys. I'll be here at the end while you're sitting on the trailer watching me from the infield.
Scott Simley, Kevin Stone, Eric Arnold, which he was down in my area here this week. We almost had a chance to meet up before the weekend, but unfortunately just got stuck at work. But he was down here at the Chevy plant here in Fort Wayne working, and it'd been kind of a cool conversation to have so I could learn about like his aggressive style. But yeah, you see the pack kind of opening up a little bit here, and I don't know if this is more people trying to catch their breaths after what they've seen, or could it be some kind of a, I mean, I don't want to say tire wear, but because I mean, it really doesn't exist, but you just never know with the track temp and stuff. But Tyler starting to open up that top side. He's got Cal and Tony to help him up there. And Kevin DeBrown up there, and Glenn Campbell behind him. And then there's Mr. Met himself, Jose Gonzalez. Oh, Mons shuts the door on Parker there. And he said, "You better push me, young man." Leaves his teammate hanging, and then Fuller's gone to the back. Abort.
Got the daughter.
What's that?
He's speaking a little French there. Shut the door.
I know a way to say
Let me
it.
tell you one thing that we learned this week with the draft and the changes. You were talking about it earlier, Chris. If the pack breaks off, if you're out in the back and you single file and you get aggressive with pushing, you can run them down. So even if this pack kind of separates somewhere along the line, if the drivers in the back have wherewithal, they'll be able to drive back up into the scrum if they need to.
I'll say they were 4 wide for a second there. Got down to 3 with Joey Butina and Patrick Colby there. Doug Sigmund, I think he decided to just drive down pit road to get out of everybody's way. So he's coming off pit road after just driving through there. So single file pretty much back here with the guys kind of chilling out. Fuller and who's back here? O'Rourke. You mentioned Coleman, these guys. Kevin King, Joey Stone joining the battle. And there's Richard Beasley. And, oh, caution, we got wrecking in front here. One car is in the outside wall. It's Cody Giles. And he just got clobbered by the 15 of Hudson. Or is that Alan Wild? I'm sorry, it's Alan Wild. Different numbers. I'm used to Joey being there, the 15 being of, what's his name? It happens. Hudson.
The 8 got turned there.
Oh, Yoakum.
Yeah, Yoakum got snagged. I don't know by who. Maybe Mons turned the 5, and the 5 went in the right front. Absolutely killed.
I don't think Yoakum realized he was 4 wide.
Yeah. So caution for the first time on lap 18.
I mean, this is
Kind of expected it. It had to happen.
eventually, which for Bill's reasons, I'm very happy about this, by the way. Let's go to the right here. So stop here. They're 4 wide right there. Jettina backs out of it, but Yoakum's unaware, and you've got what 100 feet before you do the turn. So in that much time, it's kind of hard for Campbell to hang a left to get to the bottom lane, for Mons to hang down to the middle. So Yoakum's following that 9 car right into turn 3, and well, Mons is there. And unfortunately for the 5, he is going to be the victim. Oof. Of a hard
That
lick.
right front gets killed there. You could see it banging around underneath the fender as the left front is pointing the wrong direction. Also, that 5 is killed.
Yeah, and Mons gets a little bit damaged, and it would just stink if there wasn't a view of like somebody's right front tire for a wreck. Would there be? I mean, they haven't seen what I got. Let's go to the Coleman cam. Why not? Huh? Let's check on Cody Giles. This is supposed to be for tire wear. This is a different kind of wear right here. This might hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Houdini.
You look like a hula hoop there.
Oh, man. Well, tough break for those guys in all seriousness. We did have the leaders come to pit road, it looks like. All here at lap number 19. Kevin Brown winning the race off pit road. Everybody pretty much fuel only, it looks like, or 2 tires in the race off of pit road. Comstock second, Dalton third. We're going to step away and get a break in. We'll try to do this when we get cautions and hopefully not to do it during green flag racing tonight for the fact of jinxing wrecks. But either way, it is the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series here from Talladega on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are here at Talladega Superspeedway. It is the 8th race of the NC811.org Cup Series. And we are under caution. 3-car accident. Randy Yoakum, Cody Giles, and Justin Mons getting involved. It looks like Giles and Yoakum obviously getting the worst of it by far before coming to rest there. Alan Wild went sliding down the track just trying to avoid everybody. But I think he's going to be okay in the end. Cody's already taken his car behind the wall. As for Yoakum, we'll have to see because they had some pretty heavy damage there, Kev. But man, that was a wild first set of laps.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is you're pretty much running wide open with the 33-degree banking. You can just drive the car in, never have to lift, choose whatever lane you want, but that doesn't mean it's a Sunday drive for these guys. They are up on the wheel every moment when they're in traffic for sure. The car moves around from the air, and it's been a pretty exciting race so far. Like I said, they might have however many laps to race, and they know it, 94 laps, but they run hard from the drop of the green. And a lot of it has to do with track position. Now that they've been able to top off, I'm not sure how much track position plays on because, from the beginning of the race, Chris, you're trying to get up front so that if you pit, you're at least up in the front when you pull off. And if you have a mistake, you can blend in with the field. And I suspect that we're going to see this, all these drivers topping off here as we get one to go.
Well, 20 of 94 right now. That's 74 laps to go. You divide 74 by 2, you come out to 37, which is, I think it's good, but it's right on the number. It's one of those where you're good to go, but it's still, if you go to overtime right now, you might be up a creek, put it like that. So, we'll have to see here. I think you're going to see everybody get going, but the one thing that I worry about, and you kind of had it yesterday in the Cup race, except for them, they couldn't go more than 3 wide when they were at full speed, and I kind of made the comment to, matter of fact, it was Atomic Burrito who's speaking here and saying one stop from here in chat. He and I were talking in Twitter, and he made the comment about the 3 wide racing. I said, well, wait till they get to full speed. They'll be back to 2, and that's exactly what happened. Well, here, the draft is good enough where they can go 3 wide. The problem is they go 3 wide here at Talladega. It's going to block a lot of moves from being able to happen. So that's where I think the track position could be important, is you want to be at the front part of that, not the back. 200-mile-an-hour road jam.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin Brown leading him to the green.
Josh Parker coming from the back of the field as usual, made his way into the top 10 here.
Get up the song there. Tyler Dalton inside lane. Charles Van Schaik in that blue 23 car inside lane there. He's worked his way up into this pack. Gonzalez and others as these guys get wound up.
Scary time of the race. A lot of drivers, if they laid back or didn't get a good place to start, and then they all of a sudden see this run and they got to decide what are they going to do. They don't, a lot of them want to hop out of that bottom lane, and they don't want to get side by side and break the draft from the cars in front of them.
Right.
But when you have such a run, you almost have to take advantage of it and hope that you can drive up and find a hole to get into.
You never know if you're going to get that run again, right? So if you're on a super speedway and you're wanting to go, if you get a run, you need to take it. Because it's one of those, that's what Dale Jr., I bring this up on this every Super Speedway broadcast. Dale Jr. even admitted on his podcast, he said one thing that he was good at doing when he was running Super Speedways is anytime he had a run, he took it and went with it. And whatever happened out of it, came out of it. So, I mean, and that just goes back to you failed 100% of things you don't try. A couple of people this worked out for this caution. Rod Mitten in the 92 car. He and I believe it was the 25 of Joe's, and also a couple cars scraping the wall there. Just caught that out of my eye. Where's the other car at that? Blundell had lost a draft there before that caution. So these guys back up in the lead pack now.
If you're a Randy Yoakum fan, it is not Randy's night so far. He's still sitting down there on pit road getting his car serviced. He'll be down a handful of laps by the time he gets done, if he's able to return to service. Down 5 right now. He and Cody Giles, the only 2 cars off the track, 40th and 41st, both of them 5 laps down, trying to fix the damage from that first incident we had here at Talladega.
So I'm very curious, who talked Eric Arnold off the ledge? Eric Arnold, one of the more aggressive drivers in this series, and he's sitting back here with the pack of veterans. Back here with Hudson and Stoney Benfield and Kevin King, Brian Macklin. I mean, it's not a bad group to be with, but that is a different Eric Young, or an Eric Arnold, I should say. I just looked up at Darrell Young and called him Eric, as Darrell Young's to the front now.
Wow, these cars are really dancing off a turn 2. See, car is not able to hold the line, sliding up. It opens up a couple holes.
Oh, Darrell, you did it. Sorry, Kev. Darrell did the wrong. That right there is that hesitation. I don't know. I'm assuming Brantley, who's over here in chat, is probably spotting for him. That's usually what Brantley does, is help his team out and stuff in the spotter booth. That's one of those, if you're going to go down and make a move, you have to do it. Don't make the move and then stop, because you put yourself in a moment's notice, you will be 3 wide and gone. That's exactly what happened there in that 71 car. No, Brantley's not spotting for him tonight, but I'm pretty sure Brantley's yelling at the monitor, "Don't do that!"
To do it. Mike Kelly out front for the first time here tonight. He becomes your 10th different leader in the Exalta Coating Systems Camaro. Looking pretty good out front. He's got Wesley Donaldson tucked in on his back bumper, but Anthony Calantoni's going to come down there and give him a run.
Oh, by the way, who won Daytona? Mike Kelly.
Mike Kelly.
Won the Daytona 500K, breaking the win streak of Ryan Macklin at Daytona, and won both races, leading the last lap of the race. Says, here comes Mr. E.J. O'Rourke. He was the one with that big run up the middle. I was starting to ooh a little bit as he went up here and gave Wesley Donaldson a big bump in the middle lane as we're 3 by 3 by 3, 5 rows deep.
Joey Stone currently holding down the 16th position, running through the middle, trying to advance said number 7 through the melee there. He's got the 77 of Friary the third to his inside.
Sorry. Wesley got pushed to the inside lane almost by EJ, and it was like, whoop.
High side, mid side, low side. Holy cow, that was a drive across the freeway. It looked like Frogger. Back down. Man, he's doing the Joey.
They just squeezed the outside.
Yeah.
You just put EJ up on the outside wall. That's the thing, though. Who's got, I mean, that's Dalton up there in the front now, but who's got the live spotters? Who's got the apps? Who's got the iRacing? Again, it's so different, the language you get out of the apps compared to a human person on this track. Again, the only thing you get is car high, car low, car middle on the apps. Humans can actually say, hey, car on your door, car on your bumper, car coming inside lane with a hot, 2 car coming hot, or whatever your language is. You can kind of tell the driver, this guy's coming here, this guy's going there, or whatever, and the apps don't do that.
This is one of those field cleaners, man. You get one of these second place cars, gets a little oops, and you're going to take out the top 20 cars. They'll all be smashed and crashed down there on the grass on the front stretch. I'll tell you, this is making me nervous. Working lap number 29, and if I'm seeing this, I'd be pulling low and going out back. This is just bedlam coming off the turn.
Being back here where Brian Workman is. Best seat in the house right here. Well, he might lose the draft. He needs to get up there a little closer. He might have lost the draft. Ooh, it's tight. He needs to stay there. Hope they check up a little bit.
You might say, what would compel them to race this way this early? But the fact of the matter is, as much as I cringe and watch the way this works, this is how you learn the runs. This is how you find out if the top line's working, how you make allies that you're going to work with later in the race, how you get to your teammates. There's all kinds of agendas going on here in the middle of this mix, and you know, you could test, can you bump the car? Can you tandem? What is it you're going to try to do later in the race to get yourself the win? This is the time to learn it, but holy cow, is it white knuckle.
I think at the same time, to add to that, Kevin, it's all the times they race together on this kind of track. I mean, they do Super Speedway Series. Matter of fact, they have one on Tuesdays now. That's getting going. They do these kind of series all the time, and they race Super Speedways. It seems like every couple of weeks there's one of their series is at a track like this, so they get used to being around each other. Oh, there we go. Contact. The 7 gets around. And did they wreck? I think they've saved it so far. They're still saving it. We stay green.
Yeah, there's
Everybody's
cars
good.
down on the apron, down in the grass, down on pit road, but everybody looks like they drove out of that. I think somebody went below the cone and is subject to a possible penalty, but one of the big things that happened is this really split the pack up.
Yeah, Jose Medina's on pit road. Not sure if that was a part of the wreck or not, but that started, I hate to use the name, E.J. O'Rourke got in the back of the 7 and got him sideways right in front of us. I mean, it was literally as we were looking. Let's go to it here in a second here. I'll get the replay up. But we stay green. There's your pack now of about, about 12, 14 cars or so?
Yeah, that 7 car took a pretty big hit, too, from the 7, 7, and the 9. Got pummeled like 4 or 5 times from the back. Well, about 8 times.
That's already happening here.
Bump, 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 bump.
Here we go. Yeah, well, that's still going. All right, here we go. So yeah, Joey was just running up front at one point, and then right there he gets contact from the 21. And everybody just kind of scatters. Gerald Livingston goes to the apron, so does Friery. There's the 7 down in the grass. You mentioned Medina. I think he's going to end up turning left here or something. Yeah, he turns left and goes to pit road. He must have had a meatball. Oh, no, he toes, actually. So, tough break there. As, hey, look who's up front. The boss man. A guy who has has a couple of actual ARCA Series starts at this track. In Joey Jattina in that 14 car to the lead here. And let's set up where everything is right now. So we've got a 12-car breakaway up front. And it's about 2 seconds back to this pack where now Kevin DeBrown, Josh Parker, Scott Stenzel, and you see Stenzel got heavy nose damage on that personal comfort car. So he's going to need to stay right in line there and hope that that car is not going to grenade at any minute. And then from there, you got about 9/10 of a second gap back here to Patrick Colby, who's got Kevin King and others. They're going to catch that other pack likely and work to go catch that lead pack. And I can tell you right now that lead pack's being caught pretty quickly. It's down to under 2 seconds already. So we're going to come back to one pack here pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about before. If you single file out of that backpack, you can drive them down. It's the Turner Supply Ford Chesterton on the side for Joey Jattina. That thing looks pretty stout out front. He's got teammates behind him lined up, giving him a push as the 2 underneath. And how about Charles Van Schaik? I think this is the first time we've said anything about the GOAT driver. He's sitting there second in line behind Mike Kelly, giving a tap, tap, tap as they go down the back straightaway, pushing the 2 to the lead.
Yeah, those are teammates, by the way, in that 23 car is Van Schaik and Mike Kelly. As Kelly actually had said when he won the Xfinity race earlier this year at Daytona, he said, hey, it's going to be Charles' turn to win the 500 when that race comes up, and Charles wasn't able to be there. So Kelly took the win for him. As Casey Carrington checking in from apparently He said 2 exits over at first, which that could be from here, from where you're at, Kev, from somewhere, from Talladega, and that turned out to be where he is. He's over near Barber Park, apparently, and I'm not sure if he's chomping on a Buc-ee's brisket sandwich, but he said something about Buc-ee's, so.
Well, I could tell you right now, that second group, they couldn't find a better driver to be out front.
Right?
You've got Kevin DeBrown sitting there with Parker parked on his back bumper, just shoving him through the corners, down the straightaway, through the front stretch. It almost looks like one car with a tow hitch to the other one behind it. And I think they're not getting any respite from the 51 of Justin Fuller behind them. And man, like you said, they're running at 2,347 miles faster than the guys in front of them.
How much?
2,347.
I think they probably should have caught this pack by now, you would think. I wonder if Stenson's damaged, because usually the third or fourth car in line as the round goes Comstock.
Oh, there you go.
I promise you, he spun. I just can't get to his name. There he is. He spins back onto the track, and there's the caution.
And there's the yellow, yeah.
Helped out by Doug Sickman going up to his rear bumper. Comstock, and I think Jose Gonzalez got
on
turned.
the bottom, you'd be okay, but when you slide back up on the racetrack into the yellow line, I think that's...
I mean, how are you going to get a yellow?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what he was doing, but I mean...
yeah. Not saying that either.
Hey, when I've needed a caution, I am not ashamed to say that if I saw somebody like a Darlington, for instance, spun out, that I've driven my car down near him to trigger the caution on iRacing. All right, let's see what happens here. He's up there beside Daryl Young in the 71 car, middle groove there, and
Almost looks like he drifted up.
a little bit. Gets into the 71,
Yeah.
and then, Gonzalez nowhere to go.
He got meted.
Knocks the
Met in the
helmet off
middle.
the car.
Everybody's going to go to pit road and fill up. Tighten the field up. They were spread out a little bit from that first incident we saw, which didn't draw a caution.
Yes,
I think that 13 will probably be fine.
I think all of them should be fine. I mean, obviously, I think the worst of it in the end is going to be Gonzalez. I mean, Young should be fine. That'll just be less than a minute of damage there. And then, unfortunately, you can see the front end kind of got knocked off a little bit of the 26. So, and here, just hold the car on, back up backwards.
Yeah, hold on. Where's it? Okay, yellow one.
Here's
Good.
Tina.
Okay, I'll stop there. Let me grab a gear.
Caution out.
We make fun of that. That's a veteran move.
It's
right?
a
You
move
need
that, I
caution.
mean...
It didn't look too conspicuous.
I mean...
I'm sure he'll take issue with our commentary, but,
I
it's a
just
ball.
caught
No,
it like
it's a
I
strike.
see it. I mean...
This is so much fun watching those cars hit. You're driving down there, and it's just like the real thing. Like, where is my pit box?
Right.
Haven't seen anybody back up, so everybody actually locked in pretty well as Tyler Dalton wins the race off.
Yeah, Glenn Campbell going to be third behind Wesley Donaldson. And here, let's do this. When all else fails, you just go on board with the car. Got the Hemet cam here from Comstock.
Wheel straight, wheel straight, wheel straight. It's a little wobble. Oh, left. Oh, key. Hold the brake. Hold the brake. Hold the brake.
Notice the car's in reverse now.
It's
Kind
kind of
back to first
odd.
gear. I think he actually was downshifting before. I did see him still in high gear when he was stopping, so I can't say that he threw it in reverse or whatever.
One of those things about that, though, is they always tell you to lock it down because you never know. Somebody just coming along hugging the yellow line and you roll the car back up and you get tagged and your race is done. So
Right.
you play a little risk doing that, but there's plenty of time to fix the car here and he'll be able to join back in, and they've cleaned up the back of the car pretty well here as I watch it roll through the apron in turn 1 and 2.
It's so hard to, it's, Brantley Road and a couple others mentioning in chat, it is hard to prove that he did something like that on purpose, and we're not going to say he did. But when a car rolls back onto the track, it's like, yeah, you just call it like you see it. So let's step away real quick.
I will
go
say
ahead.
this:
I'm sorry.
how many times have you ever been in this situation? You're like, oh, I can't believe that just happened. And you're having that conversation with yourself. And you're not paying attention to what you're doing while you're driving. And next thing you're like, oh,
Absolutely.
suppose I'll apply the brake, right?
Or you throw your arms up in the air and your feet are just dangling or whatever, and the car's driving itself pretty much out there. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
You have a moment.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, at least it does for me.
That could have happened. I mean, who knows? But hey, let's get a quick break in real quick. 100 miles in, 150 miles to go still at Talladega Superspeedway here on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, and always remember, make sure you do call NC8 or call 811 before you dig, no matter on what state you're in. I know a lot of people are there in the NC, the North Carolina area. Tyler Dalton with the South Carolina car. Of course, you get some others with the Virginia 811. They're all part of the same Safe Digging Sports Network. You can check out on Facebook and stuff. Hello to Ann and those guys watching from 811. But all 48 states here in the local area have 811. And I'm still trying to find out if Hawaii and Alaska do. But if they do, make sure you dial 811 no matter what before you dig. It is not only the law, but it is safe because, again, most cables now in the world are going underground and not up in the air like you see a lot of power cables and stuff. So like the internet, the cable itself or satellite, whatever you like to use in that situation, if you're still one of those that watch that, you got water lines, gas lines, who knows what's down there. So call 811 before you dig. And I found out Hawaii does now, according to Tom Carito.
There you go.
So thank you.
Very cool to see 811 on the side of Josh Williams' car this weekend at Talladega. That was neat.
That was a wild race Saturday. All right.
Speaking of wild, here we go.
Here we go again. Hey, it looks like the Cup Series. Everybody, we got about 12 cars in the outside lane, everybody else in the inside lane. As we come to the green, all those cars back there topped off the fuel. As we go to complete lap number 40, is Tyler Dalton in the outside lane as the leader, as he's going to pull the old pull-down move here in a second. In front of Wesley, is he going to bring Anthony with him? This is the first time where you're going to try this with two cars.
You have to wonder if he's going to clear him.
There you go.
Down. No,
Or Wesley pulls up, yeah.
Join him.
See if Glenn would have gotten...
Yeah, I really believe.
I mean, it's a smart move to make, but the only way to counter it is the other cars have to realize that's coming, and you have to start pushing the other line. And that's how you counter that. But you see those three getting locked up really quickly, and they're starting to drive away as the inside line with Rivera, E.J. O'Rourke, and Mike Kelly starting to get the bottom line rolling here.
Bobby Wetzel, the lone driver through the middle, got such a good run out the tail end of the back of that pack that he dived in the middle and drove up a couple spots and filled the slot. Now he's like 8th car in line on the top side.
And here comes Kevin making a groove by himself up the middle. That's literally the taking advantage of the run you get and just get what you can get out of it. What he's doing right there is he's going up the middle and it's kind of working. Until then.
Especially when somebody joins you.
Yeah. You know, there was a package back in the day where actually going up the middle actually did work. And that was the old, the Cup car actually would be the ARCA car in today's iRacing. The ARCA / Gen 4 car. That bill and everything created so much air that the middle, actually they found a way for, apparently they were able to draft off both cars in a side draft. And it literally just pulled the car up through the pack. It was kind of weird how that works for a little bit. As here comes EJ to the front. Tyler Dalton pushing.
Question whether the 26 and the 13 would have any problems. Well, guess what?
They're pushing each
They're
other,
in the
aren't they?
draft and they're running nose to tail with each other here as they are trying to make their way forward through the middle.
Sounds about right.
the 04 of Doug Sigmund underneath him, and the 81 of Josh Parker.
And EJ stuck in the middle with you.
Steelers. He is dropping like. Oh, he's going to make these guys check up. They're going to go 4 wide in the back. That was almost like he dropped it in second gear or something. That looked really weird.
Yeah, he lost a lot of momentum there. That was kind of weird, and that broke up the pack there as he got ran over by Wetzel, and didn't see who the car was behind Wetzel, but that just, I mean, he must have, you know, he probably did. He probably got out of the gas like, I don't want to be in the middle. And unfortunately for Wetzel, he went up there trying to help him in the middle, and well, that's one of those, you catch a car too quick.
Yeah. It almost looked like a car pop in the parachute at the end of an NHRA run, how fast he came back, and Wetzel had the wherewithal to get on the binders and stop from running him over because speed differential was enormous as EJ came backward. But whatever it's worth, he's got the loud pedal going now, and he's right back in the mix and heading back to the front.
Yeah, let's see. Let's watch this again. Let's go on board and let's throw this 23 up real quick here. Maybe not anymore.
Yeah,
He stayed in the gas. He stayed right at 7,900. He just lost that much speed.
yeah, that was almost comical as to how fast you could see him going backwards.
Yeah. I mean, this car is so the field, I guess, so to say, of the draft. If you think of it from a science standpoint, like most of the cars on iRacing, it's almost like the draft goes out in a funnel, per se, where the draft of this car, let me go live, by the way, goes straight back. So if you're out to the left or to the right of the car that you're trying to draft, you're not getting the draft of that car. Where if you're driving in the truck or the B car or whatever, you can kind of move around a little bit and you're still getting that draft of that car in front of you.
See a couple of these cars out in the back we've not talked about at all. Nick Jobs is back there. Lundell is back there. Joey Stone tagged onto the back of Rod Alasso. Don't think we've mentioned his name tonight. Rod Minton. I think we said his name once. And they're tagged onto the back of the 30, who is a super speedway winner multiple times. So maybe the strategy is just stay back there, wait for the big one, and with 5 to go scoop in and get yourself a win.
Yeah, of course, that's 3-time Daytona 500K winner in Sim500. Brian Macklin with Rod Minton pushing him there. And it's funny, you were talking about the guys that are falling to the back that we haven't talked about much. There's one other guy that's showing up in the top 5. We haven't said his name yet. Say hello to Mr. Beasley. Super Speedway champ himself, Richard Beasley. We're not used to seeing a non-tied ride on a Super Speedway. He's in that black-red as Fryery up there scraping the wall. WDD die-cast car. A lot of die-cast cars out here. Of course, Wesley Donaldson does a great job of painting those things. Check out his Facebook page for information there. Justin Mond's back up there after getting involved in the accident a little bit ago, as Bobby Wetzel's going to try to make the high line go by himself. He does have a little bit of help now starting to join him in the form of Donaldson and Campbell. Mond's going to go up there now as we're starting to form that third line. And look at Jose Gonzalez up there. Remember his nose ripped off earlier? Can I say the word nose job on the air? Because he got one. Rod Minton having some blinking issues back here.
out. Got his car repaired.
Yeah, a tinfoil hat for the 92's blinking back there.
Watching Ron Hollifield in the 11. He was out in the outside lane by himself, couldn't find a hole. As the field streaked by, he ducked down but lost the draft, and now riding by himself out there in the back might be the safest position if the caution comes out. He and Brian Wertman off the pace right now.
So we are halfway this time by. 125 miles to go, and if you haven't stressed out too much, you still got 125 miles to go. If you're stressed out right now, then you might want to go walk away for a second. Matter of fact, I usually...
This is what we expected, right?
Right. Kevin, we usually do this during restarts. I always find it the best time to use it, but at a super speedway race, I feel like I can do it at any time, so let's take a breath ourselves and let these guys enjoy some turn it up. That at nearly 200 miles an hour as these guys roll. As we come by to complete lap number 50, you saw the little bit of chunks in one of the cameras in turn one. That was not the track coming up. That was simply Rod Minton was blinking a little bit, and that's causes that kind of thing to happen. So a couple of newcomers starting to show up here in the front as we hit lap 51. And I see the 29, Kevin Kane, the winner of the last two races, as he's going to try to make a move to the top side for the lead. Chad Coleman is right there also now coming up the middle as the Iron Man. That's I'd say. I see what you did there. As, yeah, 81 Josh Parker also did that.
I think at some point they get fatigued of riding around in the back, and that was a slide there from Parker coming across the nose of the 19.
I mean, they're all just trying to get the pushes is what they're doing. They're being aggressive because most of the runs you get in this car are coming from pushes. So you get up there and you try to get the run of the car that's coming and get that push, just like Bonds did. And it can be kind of, as you saw with Michael McDowell yesterday, it can be a good move, it could be a bad move.
I always wonder, and I don't know what your take on this, I want to be in the bottom line. I know the bottom line gets bottled up and everybody's locked in. But if something happens above you, on a lot of parts of this racetrack, you could at least go to the apron and try to escape. If you're in the outside lane and things are crossing the racetrack, there's really no place to go with the wall out there. Sometimes in the backstretch you can get away from it.
I go down to where it depends on what part of the race it is and when. If it's just right now in the race, I'm still in the back. I'm back there with that other pack racing. And one thing that I try to find myself to do, and this is so hard to do, is I try to anticipate. Yesterday, when I ran an NIS race, there was a wreck I saw kind of coming from the top side. I saw one car move up there and check up the field, and I'm like, there might be about to wreck. And as I saw one car start swerving a little bit, I immediately was on the bottom lane. I went to the apron at that moment and stayed in the gas. And lo and behold, about 2 seconds later, I see one car cross the back of my car, wrecking. And I'm like, if I check up one moment or don't move down at all, I'm probably in that wreck. So it's more of a anticipation. If you see a wreck happening, where it's at, where it's coming from, there's so many things. And then there's that time where you just have nowhere to go. And those
maybe
happen
we
too.
can go inside a car and
Yeah.
give them a sense of what it looks like
Yeah.
a 44 of Campbell,
Let's do that, Glenn Campbell.
or anybody in the back there, the 84.
So you're talking about from the second back? Oh, there we go. Okay. So
Somewhere in the back of this pack so you can get a sense. And I wanted to talk about one of the things you see. The drivers running down here, they can't see anything with the car in front of them. And every once in a while, if you see them move to the left or move to the right, they're actually taking a peek. Now, when you come around the corner here, as the corner is a corner, you tend to see where the cars are
Check
in
up
front
inside.
of you. You know who's tight and what's what. But, you know, even down the backstretch, sometimes you see the drivers just ease over to the left. They're looking to see what they can see, because right now he can't tell what's going on in front of Wetzel and the 9 in front of him. He's lost sight of Calantoni. There's no idea what's going in front of Calantoni. But now that it opens up, you get to see it. You could see down the left line. You could see down the right line, but the center line, you have no clue what's going on. Now in the corner, you have pretty good visibility all the way through. So every once in a while when you see the drivers moving around, it's not that the car's unstable, could be that, but they could also be just pulling out to take a peek and see what's going on. Then when they see two cars sitting tight on each other, it's EJ O'Rourke to the outside, and you think to yourself, that's EJ.
You're
Joking,
right.
EJ.
You're right.
But you go up, there's EJ, he's tight to the car in front of him. I might want to back out a little bit or make sure I have an exit plan.
See, right there, it looked like Campbell wanted to go down, but he saw the run from Fuller. Now Mons cuts down there behind him. He's got Comstock coming up to his top side behind Joey. So in this case, you just kind of reset yourself in where you're at. But yeah, and if I'm in this pack right now, I'm looking up and I'm seeing what's going on ahead of me. I see that inside line. I see, you know, obviously what's going on in the front. Now I get this run up the middle because Calantoni's here. Outside line's starting to die. You don't really see any side draft going on, so you can kind of feel comfortable running right here, right now. But it all comes down to now you got Joey Jutina behind you, so now you're stuck in a box. And this is the box that, unless it's like 10 laps to go, I don't want to be here at all, because I now have no control of anything. If they wreck in front of me, where am I going? Close your eyes, hope for the best, Tom Cruise? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
I mean,
you have no out, and that's one of the FedEx things is they always use leaving out, and that's mostly for backing up and things like that, or when you're in a tight parking space. I kind of treat it that way in this. Leave an out. Leave myself an out where I have somewhere to go if I need to. And the only out right now, unfortunately for Campbell, is backwards. And well, you see Joey, look at, there's an awkward spot that you don't want to be in, and there we go, right on cue.
See that coming.
Caution coming out is Comstock in the inside wall. Campbell gets the wall. Yep.
Those are teammates,
It
by
was
the
like
way.
that was
and,
meant to
you know,
happen or something,
so
wasn't
that's
it?
gonna be- Well, it's funny because the 14 was behind him one lap, then he was in front of him, then he was sideways. So, but you got to see it live right there, and that's crazy.
We just literally commentated a super speedway wreck right there in front of you. As caution comes out.
But it goes to show how quickly everything happens, that the car's moving around and how fast they close and make speed on each other. And yeah,
I mean,
not a surprise.
it's a
That
spot
left
that
front
you
looks
just,
filled.
yeah, you just don't want to be in that spot. It's unfortunate. I mean, some people are okay with it. My opinion, I don't want to be there, and I wouldn't have been. But well, hindsight 2020. But trying to get to the. Unfortunately, didn't give me a yellow trigger here. So let's just rewind this manually. And if you, by the way, if you're in chat and you have a different perspective of what I'm saying and what Kevin's saying, feel free. I mean, we don't mind talking about it and hearing others' opinions. We are not the best at doing this stuff. You know, the only thing I can brag about is I've won 2 iRacing Daytona 500s. That's about it when it comes to super speedway racing. So, which I know, I guess, is something, but that just means I missed a bunch of wrecks and did well at the end. So let's go.
Joey went down to fill the space, got a little touch, and I think the touch turned him sideways.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, see the sideways, and then when the car comes back, he's on the quarter panel, and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, Kevin
They
Brown
take
gets
Kevin Brown
squeezed.
out.
Stenzel nowhere to go. There's Comstock getting hit, and Friary barely
Once
misses.
again, his car has been like a left shot in the corner pocket
You're right.
tonight. Does he catch that inside wall? No. Yes? Yeah, he got it.
Glenn gets it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, 13 also. Glenn hit it pretty hard. 13 just did a glancing blow. Then hits down pit road.
All right, so third caution out as here come the cars to pit road again. And Tyler
This
Dalton.
should help from the fuel mileage standpoint, yes?
It's still. I think they're good to go, but they better start saving now because overtime is going to come into play. Because you're at 35 laps to go right now, you're good to go on fuel. It's a matter of now, if there's a wreck with 3 to go, overtime comes in. And let me go look at the old numbers here of history at Talladega. And again, big shout out to Sim Racer Hub for, I'm able to go now track by track and get stats of like the races at specific tracks or even a style of track. So it's really cool to see when it comes to this. Let me click on Talladega, hit tracks. Again, 13 races, 11 different winners. And depending on, so here's the question is when did, just click on this race really quickly. Get this to cooperate with me. So I don't know if the original race was supposed to be 88 laps or not. I can just kind of go off of what the recent races are here at Talladega, but overtime-wise, the numbers are probably pretty decent here. As we're still going to come to 1 to go here. Let's see, last season we ran 101 laps, so that race went to overtime. We had 115 laps back in the spring race, so that tells me that's probably overtime. Probably went to maybe overtime here in the October race, 92 laps. It's just hard to tell with the laps and distance. It doesn't label it overtime or whatnot, so it's just very hard to tell. But overtime at a super speedway race is usually a pretty common thing. So, hey, let's step away real quick before we get back to this restart and get you another break from 811 as you're watching Sim500 from Talladega on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are at Talladega Superspeedway, being told that the cars are pretty much good to go on fuel, which is good news. If anybody's able to spot, Donaldson might need a spotter. Apparently, Jason's losing his voice. Got the what's the guy? Oh my gosh, a buddy of mine used to always have this joke when he broadcasted with me. We were doing high school football games, and he would lose his voice, and he would make a reference to the guy. And of course, I can't remember, a famous actor and singer. But anyways, I cannot remember the guy's name. But either way, we're about to get ready to go racing. Over 34 laps to go. And the one thing I suggest to Jason, make sure you're doing what, and I referenced yesterday's Cup race where the Toyotas whooped themselves in the race. And I have a feeling, I could be wrong by this, but I have a feeling that somebody in that pack was not telling them how far ahead to the bumper they were of the other cars. So hopefully Wesley's being told that by Jason. Because it's very key to know when you're being pushed or you're pushing and somebody's pushing in front of you to know where that car and your car is lined up on the bumpers. Just gonna throw that out there. As we come back to the green, 34 laps to go, and already checking up, and Wesley, or is that Parker, heading for the infield? That's Parker. They got checked up.
Imagine he had a penalty for that. The speed he carried down. They don't clear penalties like that. You have to serve them as the rules.
That's a tough break for Parker. And Chad Coleman, a lot of nose damage on that 38, so you wonder if he was the one maybe that got into Parker there. That's a tough break that he really had no control of. Again, yeah, Coleman's right there behind Parker. Let's watch the restart to get into the zone. And actually starts up there about Nelson Rivera. They check up, and actually Parker did okay. He stayed to the right of the green cone. Parker should still be okay.
That's that checkup that I was talking about on the starts. You see it all the time.
And watch up here. If somebody didn't... You know what? I want to check this out a little bit more because...
You want to see what Dalton did
I want to see what Dalton did here because now I'm noticing that what he did there. Let's...
The thing is laying off of him there.
Let's go to Dalton. And unfortunately, I can't show like speedometer or anything like that, but let's watch the RPMs. I don't see anything wrong.
I think he already stepped on it there.
He's running 5,300. 54, and he launches.
Yeah, he's got the zone. He hammered it, so it wasn't him. You know, Kevin was, I think it's Kevin behind him, was laying off a little. And when he pulled up, he closed the gap behind the 19. But when he got there, he had to step on the brake, and everybody did the same thing. Go back a little bit further.
Yeah, we'll go back to Nelson here.
Oh, no, it's 2.
Yeah. Did Mike anticipate it?
Yeah, see, I think Kevin's back a little bit here from the 19.
Where is the 2?
Back a little further.
Mm-hmm. Back a little further. Back and to the left.
Back. Yeah, see the gap here behind the 19, and then as they tighten up, not the right Geico, the one on the left, he comes a little tighter, and then bang, bang, bang as he slows down not to run the 19 over. And that little tap, tap, tap that translated back through the stack.
Interesting. Yeah, so you wonder, did Mike maybe just anticipate the start early there and tried to go, and obviously you can't go till Kevin goes. Interesting. O'Rourke just ran the fastest lap of the race in the draft.
No prisoners up here. They're just 19 and the 9 are teammates with an 84 right behind them. And this is where you might find a team trying to control the narrative.
We have a tandem up here. Look out. Fuller and O'Rourke. I just saw them on the high side.
Go right to the lead. He's not going to wait. Wow.
And they're still tandeming.
Breaking everything up.
I saw it in turn 1 and 2. I'm like, there's a tandem up top there. Who was it? I couldn't find it. And there it was.
That was kamikaze all the way. That was incredible. How much speed.
Yeah.
And they sliced down left and drove off.
Hey, Mom, watch
still
this.
Still on the bumper. And you know every single driver sitting in that top 10 is looking at that going, what the heck was that?
They're probably like more like
Finally
note taking.
Released him. Went up and drove Tyler into the wall.
So you thought? So you want to be on iRacing, huh?
Yeah, elbows up. There's no decorum anymore.
Nah.
It's elbows up.
You don't do
Take
that.
no prisoners.
You don't do that.
Hits the wall. Now Beasley's pushing.
All right, so let's go back to this. Watch this again. So there's the tandem up here.
From 20th.
Yeah, about. Yeah.
Because there's 5 rows of cars below them.
And Edric just said, all right, Justin, hold on.
Hold my beer.
Pretty much.
It's when they make the left at the 3/4 mark of the straightaway. That was pretty impressive.
Wetzel's like,
there's no hole there.
Yeah,
Look,
Tyler's like, I'll make the block.
There's a hole. Wait, let me make. Come on through. Yeah, we're okay. Now let's go to the yellow line.
Was that Busher yesterday that made that move? That on Logano yesterday that was kind of similar to that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's crazy. That's good stuff. That's where you study film.
Well, that and you do this kind of racing a lot. You get comfortable racing around certain guys. Again, going back to that topic of getting around certain people. And needless to say, Kevin, since that restart, we've got 2 different packs again. We've got a pack of about 25 cars sitting in this front. And then about 5 seconds back, Doug Sigmund's got the guys that are just kind of hanging out here. And kind of unorganized, needless to say. Stoney Benfield back here, Kevin Stone, Doug Sigmund. And they are kind of leaving Ron Holyfield out there. But those guys need to get a little organized or else they're going to fall even further back from this lead pack.
A couple of these guys feel like they could lead the
pack better.
Draft a little better than Doug. And I don't know if Doug's got damage or not, but they organized to the top side and drove around them. I think it ain't going to matter. Because you look up front, there's
Oh, wait a minute
25
here.
cars in just a complete scrum.
Kevin, look up front here.
Yeah, I see it.
The two most hated drivers of each other, or I don't know if it's jokingly or what the deal is, but they're pushing each other. I mean, you come in here and after each race, they want to bash each other's brains in. Now, they're leading. Oh.
They're
Oh.
literally one time back, but I'm telling you.
Look at
pretty
Joey.
fun.
Joey Stone to the front. And here comes Jatina back there, by the way.
How cool is that?
I mean, those two were involved in wrecks earlier.
Yeah, with the 9.
Yeah, just put your nose on her. We'll be good, boys. Oh, and Joey, hold on.
Oh, boy.
He saved
Good
it.
cat. Incredible. He's not going to be able to join that draft, I don't think.
this
He
where we-
lost it, but it...
Is this where we remind Joey that's EJ up there pushing?
Yeah. I'll tell you, you know, every car that goes into a yaw, you have to look and see where was EJ?
Oh, caution.
He's like, where's Waldo?
We got
Where was
caution
EJ?
in the back. Ron Holyfield,
Oh,
Doug
no.
Sigmund. Those guys have gone around in the back. And this is going to be a
Let's
good break.
see what
Josh
happens
Parker's going to
here.
get the lucky dog here, it looks like.
That's that back group just trying to get organized, apparently. Man, that's a shame for Doug Sigmund. He got hammered there. They were probably yelling at each other to get in line. Just could not find the right hole to make it happen.
Beasley and Stoney come together, unfortunately. And Sigmund nowhere to go.
And there goes Brian.
Wortman, just let me sneak on
Oh,
there. Brian Wortman, the Bugs Bunny, if you will, of the series. So I doubt you're going to see anybody come to pit road outside of fixing damage.
0x for the 74. Yeah, sure.
Probably showing his first set of tires. No, Campbell.
Doug-
I was trying to
Doug
see what the
did,
other car was. Okay.
Tony Benfield still rubbing against each other over there on the back straightaway. Not sure what that was. Just a miscommunication or what? Something like those two, but I think the 75 might be blinking.
Maybe that could be.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, and he showed up right where the 04 was. So
I think we need to talk to somebody. We haven't done that really all night, so let's. I think I know the perfect guy to talk to.
who's that?
Hey, boss man, you got a copy?
Hey, man.
Looking pretty good up there. I mean, yeah, you were kind of sideways a little bit ago, but 24 to go. Looking good.
Yeah, I had some damage, 2 minutes worth, and still drove back to the front. So we'll see. Probably going to get wrecked here in a little bit, but we're having fun in the meantime.
I was going to say, is this if you were to go to Victory Lane tonight, does this mean spring break happens before Talladega each year?
Well, I cherish any opportunity to win a Sim500. I don't have very many of them. We would probably go to Disneyland.
Attaboy. Well, hey, you've kind of got that luck or that the experience from running this track. So I mean, I don't know how much that helps here, but you got a little experience. So I got Tyler there behind you too with Bobby. So you got some guys there to help you.
Yeah, the experience. I had a slow race car, so not too much we didn't rely on that. But no, we've got a great team, the Mafia. We've all been working real good together. I think we're right here in the top 5, all of us here. So yeah, we'll just see what happens. We work great together. So lanes are changing, things are moving so fast out here. Man, I just absolutely am having a blast.
That's all that matters, man. Hey, good job, man. Good talking to you.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Joey Zatina, the boss man, as we like to call him, up there in the second position, having a great run after, unfortunately, going around there just a little bit ago, but he's made that space back up. And we still got one lap before we go to green. We still got plenty of time here to talk to somebody else. Let's talk to the Daytona winner. Mikey,
Hey man, what's up?
a little wild out there.
Is it? Hadn't noticed.
Oh,
I was just sipping a coffee and listening to some jazz.
there you go. Jazz? What, you got Kenny G on or something? What we got listening to?
I was just going with a relaxing metaphor.
Oh, I see. So were you?
That's what I was going for. It missed.
So are you doing yoga moves? Is that what the moves are on the track now?
There's some crazy stuff going on, that's for sure.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just trying to survive. I mean,
So
not like
where do you want to be at the end of this race? I mean, obviously in the front. Well, like, is there any kind of position, a groove? Like, I mean, it seems like passes are coming from everywhere.
yeah, they are. It's a momentum thing, kind of. Because the top seems to be really good right off the bat, but then it seems to go back down to the bottom. So I don't know. You're just going to have to be there at the end and see where the energy is and how it goes and decide, because I don't think you can come up with a clear-cut plan, because it shifts back and forth the lines. So wherever you can get the energy and get a run or do some crazy blocks or something, you're going to have to do, because you can get down on a guy's right rear from the outside and it's like a parachute goes out. So guys who know what's going on are really manipulating the cars around them, and being on the bottom's not good for that, because a guy can come up to your outside and just slow you down 5-10 miles an hour. So we'll see how it plays out.
No, I agree with you 100%. I actually felt that feeling on Sunday in the NIS race. I had a car, I forget where it was. I was on the inside lane, and the car come right down on top of my right rear, and I could actually hear the car just, and I'm like, I just got side drafted.
Anchors away.
Right? But anyways, man, hey, good job so far, and let's see if you can back up the Daytona win or get Chucky a win.
Yeah, we're working to get Chuck that super speedway win, but I'll take it if I can get it.
Absolutely, buddy. Good job, man.
Hey, thanks for having me up.
Yes, sir. Mike Kelly running back there in the 9th position right now as we get ready to come back to the restart here. He's part of the Turn 1 Heroes crew. And yeah, I didn't even get a chance to talk about that towards the end of the race yesterday. I'm on the inside lane following a crew, and it was like 15 to go. And I felt this car on my right side just come up to my right rear, and it literally sounded like my car was running out of gas. I was like, all right.
I love that. I love they put all those dynamics. We're seeing, like you said, the runs and crazy, and it used to be you would try to organize yourself into the outside groove and see if you can break yourself through. Now it's catch as catch can. I think, you know, that lends to someone like Kevin DeBrown and EJ O'Rourke and whatever. The kamikaze moves could get you a win here tonight.
It could also cause the wreck. So I see both sides of that as Bobby Wetzel gets a real good run and gets that restart. And I think this might be a 4-car train starting up. It sure is. All 3 of them clear. Joey to the top. And unfortunately, I was going to say Anthony almost got hung out, but it's more Beasley going to get hung out in the inside lane as we go green.
Okay, Beasley.
Right. So
yeah, he thought he had the move of the race moved down, and everybody went to the high line and left him there.
I was gonna say everybody making panic moves at the top, but they're getting racy back there towards the back. And real quickly before, I don't want to make sure I want to make sure these guys realize I'm not forgetting about them. Shout out to Holy Dog Coffee for watching the course this evening. Matthew Cloquet checking us out. Some guy named Kevin England's watching. Berna Gonzalez, Brantley have given you shout outs. Brooks the ump. Are you an actual umpire? If so, how do you feel of Angel Hernandez? Anyways, Steve Tucker, who else? See Casey Carrington, and pretty much giving all the shout-outs here. So appreciate everybody watching here this evening. 21 laps to go in this race.
Hammer time.
Wait, that's when I start dancing.
This is hammer time, man. Right now, we talked about earlier the space that they would give. They're bumper to bumper. They are physically shoving each other, banging, bumping, thrashing, bop it.
Smash it. Twist it.
That's what's going on, seriously.
Right?
You just, you know, if you had a neck, you'd have whiplash in the car. Crazy how many hits are taken.
Man, these cars, yeah, you talk about the, little contact there, and there they go. Joey gets turned. Oh, you called it early.
Crazy.
Kelly into the wall, so is Friery, and there goes Eric Arnold into the wall. Here's your big wreck. Josh Parker involved. That looked like just simple miscommunication of cars going to the middle lane.
I saw the 2 come up of Kelly, who we just talked to.
And I'm pretty
And
sure
went in
that
for the 14.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be looking for another league on Monday nights probably after that. The broadcasters jinx got our boss man.
Yeah. Come on now.
Shame of me.
I didn't say a word.
Oh,
Had injury to insult. He got tagged down on the bottom, but he called it. He said it, not us. He said it, if you remember.
He said, I ain't been wrecked yet. Oh, man. That stinks. All right, let's go back and see how this...
Across and just, I don't know if he was trying to go to the middle. Both of them met. Got tagged by the 28, and then the 17, and the 21 came in, and the 25. That was the big one.
That was pretty close.
But watch the 14 and the 2 come together in the middle here.
Yeah, Joey's, see, and here's, you see Joey's coming from the top, and you see Kelly's got that run. And Kelly's probably already thinking right here, I'm going to the middle.
You see the 2 is pointed, or
Yeah,
the 14 is pointed right here.
So 2's like, I'm going to the middle. I got the run. The 14's like
down to catch the 84 behind him.
Yep, good call. And Joey does kind of hesitate right there, but you know, as the old song says, I start walking your way and you start walking mine. You know, it's more of a romantic song. This is different.
It certainly went in the middle.
And unfortunately, Joey comes back up and Patrick Colby's there.
Job's no place to go. Stone piles in. Oh, yeah, there's some big hits there.
Also, the whole Ancient World Gaming team pretty much just got yanked down to that one.
So Joey got nosed in here, and he slides across the track. And amazingly, I don't know that anybody else hit him, but as soon as he got to the apron...
Fuller, add him to the list. He gets clobbered.
He's going down. He's like, okay, I'm just going to ride for the moment. Ride.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I should be
Hello,
okay
David.
now. Hello. Hello, Newman.
You're right. Wow.
It'll buff out.
That was big.
There's a lot of time for the cars to get fixed, though, and these cars are, dare I say, indestructible. I mean, we saw some big hits, though. That one right there.
That's a good one.
There was one prior to that. Oops.
Oh, and then David goes up there and gets into whoever that 811 car is. I didn't even see that part.
Yeah.
David Comstock's
one of the cars hit really good. Well, look, Jatina's going to be one lap down here. He is now one lap down, but he's the only car one lap down, so...
Ouch! And he gets turned up into whoever that was. Yeah, I'm trying to see who.
In an eventful.
I know Kelly hit the wall a ton.
End season for this 13 car.
And by
after last year running in the top 5, just all the time we were calling that 13 up there. It's funny, they're out in the back here, and this incident occurs. They don't really get slowed down that much out in this backpack.
And I want to stand corrected again. I get Exalted cars mixed up. It was Simley, not Kelly. That was in that wreck. Parker with damage, and Simley's one of them that hit that wall a ton. Let's go on board with.
I heard an interesting feedback yesterday in the Cup race that I had never heard before. They were talking about, well, you think you could stop and all that, but when the cars hit and they spray fluid all down the racetrack.
Ooh, 2 hits. Fryer the other one.
We don't have that in the sim, but in the real world, they said you think you're going to steer out of it, but you're not. You're on a skating rink.
That's true. Yeah. Wow. Well, alrighty then. I'm glad that Mike Kelly was not involved for the sake of that would mean both of the interviews I did took themselves out in the same wreck. And I'd have been like, that's not good.
Well, you guys you talked to met right in the middle there.
They did.
That's just going to say.
Irony. I mean, does that top any broadcaster jinx right there when the 2 cars you talked to are the 2 that started the wreck?
I've had nights where every single time, like 7 in a row, 8 in a row, I think was the record, where every car that we talked about crashed within a lap. It was, we had to stop broadcasting at one point.
We had to literally stop saying like people's names. We were like, all right, 49's leading, so it's a second. That was literally, I mean, that's the odds of that, because Joey's leading or second in the race, and you got Mike Kelly's back mid-pack. And yet,
Yeah.
yeah.
We should have went to Vegas or to Atlantic City that week.
Or
'Cause that was like freaky weird.
It was literally, it got to the point where I said, "You got anybody's name you want to say here, Joey?" "Oh, I don't know, Kevin Stone," looking wiped out. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep it safe from other drivers. We will not talk to anybody until the end of the race. So, for the sake of anybody chasing me or something with a baseball bat.
So 76 is the lap we're working. We're trying to get to 94, and I think we're just going to continue to see what we just saw. It is going to be elbows up. At this point, if you're out in the back of this pack, maybe you're Joey Jattina trying to race to get the lucky dog over Robert Friery, but everybody else, they need the track position. You really want to be somewhere in that top 5, top 10 as you get to the final laps. And if you're back there in 25th, you know, out in the back of this pack, you're trying to find all the runs you can get.
As Kevin King gets an outside line going, front 3 clear. Is Kelly going to be able to clear? Not really. You see 71, a little bit of nose damage there on the Darrell Young car, but otherwise back at it. 17 laps to go as these cars fan 3 and already 2 and 3 wide. Oh, Wortman's alive. Look out. Here comes Wortman.
I was a little worried about Mons and the placement as the 9 parachutes through the middle. He was before the 19. I don't know what happened if he pulled out. And
I think King's going to try to get this outside line connected to where we go single file here for a little bit. You see the inside line is just getting trained. I'm just going to put this out there. Rod Alasso might have the perfect product placement of a driver in this series to be pushing. And I'm going to state that just from watching from Chad Coleman. But obviously when you think from a man's standpoint here, that he might have the perfect object for Chad Coleman to be up here pushing. And I say that as Coleman's probably thinking that. When you have a female in any clothing. PR move wise with men racing is probably a good move there. Anyways, as Wetzel gets shuffled out of line, Tyler Dalton gets shuffled a little bit there. As these guys are hitting each other.
yeah, you don't even know where to run. You're just waiting. You're waiting for it to happen. All that stuff about a quarter of the way back from the front, right in the middle.
I thought a couple
The
were going to get
amount
together.
of movement in air for those cars in the center trying to make hay is just unbelievable.
And these guys back here trying to figure out where to go. As Mitten and Jobs, these guys have fallen way back already. They're going to need help to get back to that pack. There's just not enough cars in that tandem. I mean, there is, but they have to get lined up and pushing quickly and hope that nobody's damaged up front. As Rod Alasso leads that top groove with Brian Macklin and Tyler Dalton. This is about the tightest 3 wide we've seen all night.
And earlier we saw Dalton down on the bottom lane. Now he's up in the high side. And that is, you know, apropos for this type of racing. You go where the gap is. You go where the space is. You got to constantly climb and keep yourself up there. If you stay static in that bottom line, everybody drives around you and takes all the spots. So, oh my gosh, the beating and banging, it's incredible. Saw smoke off the outside wall. There's no way they're going to make
Macklin
it
late,
out
but he
of
got a
park.
good move on Macklin's part. I thought he was going to be late on that chop, but he made the move right. As Macklin going to go to the lead, hanging Rod Alasso out. He's going to have a mad anime character. As Mons trying to help Rod Alasso out to the middle. Everybody,
Blocks.
4 wide, here we go.
Yeah, Sonny Bedfield's right in the middle of that. They are physically 4 wide. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. 4, 4, 4, 4. It's crazy.
I just want to sit here and watch now.
I'm going to do something dumb. Where's Eric Arnold? We haven't talked about him.
Well, he
This
was
is
in the
the
wall a
time
few
he'll
minutes
show
ago,
up.
but he's actually the 5th car outside lane. Good call. I thought he was out of this thing. Here comes Eric
Yeah.
after going into the wall.
You know he's going to be there.
Yeah?
That North Carolina 811 Ford. Call before you dig. Well, he's a digger when it comes to the end of these races. And look at Brian Wortman. How about that?
Hey, if there's somebody you want to push, it's Eric's going to hang him. Oh my! Eric is like leaning on his left rear.
Yeah, that's scary when you see him up against the left side corner.
I mean, if there's
Tony
anybody...
Benfield driving up in there. Here comes the 7. What a move. Holy cow.
Fuller were to move up the middle, gets Dalton pushed to the bottom. I think Mike Kelly's like, I've seen enough of this.
Car's wiggling all over the place through the middle. Bobby Wetzel's car looks unsettled. The 71 of Young back into the mix.
Tyler had to hold on to one there. King got in the back
That
when he was
center
on the
line
apron.
is down on top of all the cars below them too. Side drafting.
Oh,
We
there
see
they go.
more of that as there they go.
Parker and somebody to the inside. They're just 2 cars right now. Here comes that
It's
other
gonna be
pack.
low.
This will be your caution.
Gotta
Right about.
No. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so he's waiting for the pack. There it is. Justin Mons, the other car. Hello, Marty Dobie or Dobby, by the way. Appreciate you joining us on Facebook. Cheering on Stoney as we've got some interesting stuff going on here.
The 81 is done.
Kind of did knock the nose off that. Oh, this is the last track. Where's my producer? He's watching the race too much too. I can't fire the producer. It's kind of just a bad bump from it. Looked like he hit that wall a ton. Was that Fuller at the line?
Black smoke coming out of the car, which means the motor is shot.
The motor might be in the infield.
That was a hit. You see all these cars down tight on each other going through the banking. The entire outside lane is open as they pin each other down, and it's only a matter of time before you get some of these.
See, this goes back to that. I referenced that Toyota wreck yesterday again. This is what this looks like. So, Parker obviously has Fuller behind him. Let's go on board here and we'll show it like this. So, he's got Fuller behind him, but look here. You got Macklin off the pace. He gets him. He's starting to pick him up speed-wise. He's pushing him right now. Fuller doesn't know that. So, here comes Fuller. Wham and bam.
Yeah, head on into that inside barrier.
And not to mention, it wasn't the most center punch either. It was a little to the left. Tough break, Mons. And looks like Mons is going to be okay.
You're in that pack, you are going to take a deep breath because you know that was just absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I think the viewers need to take a deep breath here, too, because this has been wild. If you've enjoyed the show, we appreciate you coming to watch. You're on the Captain Esports Network. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, then, of course, we appreciate you coming back and joining us as we get closer to 30 viewers here tonight.
Wesley Donaldson, the WBD diecast Camaro, currently sitting in the 7th position. He's kind of had a quiet night, but kept himself in the mix here.
I mean, look at the wild cards that are in here right now. Joey Stone's back up to 3rd. I can't call Beasley a wild card, can we? I mean, he's a super speedway ace. Stody Benfield up here in 7th. I mean, what I mean by wild card is cars that, you know, are out here racing majority of the week and you don't see them towards the front, but then you get out here on the equalizer of the super speedway. Stony Benfield is here. You got the newcomer here, Darrell Young Jr., making his debut tonight in that 71. He's led laps. Let's see, Rod Alasso is up there leading laps in that 49 car. I mean, he's up there. Stenzel's up there still, even though he's had his nose pushed in twice. I mean, so there's, if you're on the lead lap, you can win this race. It is that simple. If you're in it, you can win it. If you don't believe me, think of some of the actual super speedway races we've seen in real life. You go to what was the Xfinity race with James Buescher, where he won at Daytona a couple years ago. It was like 2011 or something like that, where he was 11th coming off of turn 4 and went to the checkered flag. I can think of an ARCA race with Bobby Gerhardt, where he was, I think, like 9th, and a couple cars ran out of fuel in the front part. They started wrecking, and he swiped right around them and took the checkered flag and won. I think it was his final ARCA win out of like 9 at Daytona or something like that. I think of, so many different races where, the Brian Wortman Atlanta race in the trucks a couple seasons ago during the off season. He's running 9th coming off turn 4 at Atlanta, and they wadded up, and he scoots right on through and wins the race. This could be that night again. We talked about before the race started. We were like, it was going to get wild tonight.
Yeah, Wortman's car appears to be damaged in that incident.
Oh, no.
He's now 2 laps down after getting service. He's just down and away.
Well, and then I know he's been suffering some health issues too, so hopefully he's doing okay. And all the best to Wortman. He's such a nice guy. Means well, and he's done a lot for this series too. But he's sitting there stopped on pit road, not sure what's going on there. So behind the wall now, we have Josh Parker, Jose Medina, David Comstock. Up, Comstock and Medina are back on track, but they're laps down. Robert Fryer, Ron Holyfield, Randy Oakham, and Cody Giles. Unfortunately, Cody, that's going to be a rough one for his points, considering he missed the race a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm curious what the pile of money is about on the back of the Alan Wild number 15 Ford.
I think he's a tax guy, if I remember correctly. Let me...
Is that... Oh, yeah, okay. Yep, that's right.
And just a reminder, if you haven't done your taxes, you're a little behind now. Get a good, the money. I think he's a tax. I don't know if he does taxes or whatnot.
He's going to take your money, not give you money.
Well, and I think I see what on his car he's going to spend the money on, or spend the money on. Got one of the gentlemen on the car.
Tony Benfield's running 7th right now.
He's got a chance.
He wins, they'll tear the grandstands down.
They will be partying in North Carolina. Big shout out to, by the way, Stoney's family. Hopefully, forgive me, the young man, the grandson, whose name has slipped my mind. Hopefully he's doing well, and I hope the family, everybody's doing well. And their situation there is, I know we've done some races for his grandson to help raise some money for fighting cancer and stuff, but hopefully he's doing well. As we go back, Reed, 7 laps to go. And the outside line starting to pair up a little bit here.
Nose to tail, bumper to bumper, with drivers looking for the opportunity. Will they squirt out and try to get that middle line? Jump ahead as they go through. Stoney Benfield through the middle. Here comes the 49 of Mons to the outside.
Oh, man! Who was that that shut the door?
Scraping the wall as they go.
That was Beasley that went elevator bottom to top and literally shut the door. Josh Parker reporting he's been released from the infield care center.
He hit like the 7 of Algar.
Oh, Beasley, hold on.
Oh, there we go. Who's that?
Beasley. No caution. He spins down there by himself.
That looked like I'm not giving you the real stuff. I'm around. I'm spinning. I'm darn it. that looked like one of those.
From what I saw just in the they're out here hitting everything they can right now.
They've gotten back to 3 wide here. Is there 3 by 3 by?
Oh, there goes Coleman. Chad's in the grass.
He's gonna gather it up. How could he not collect anybody as he came back to the racetrack?
Caution,
huge
caution.
Crash out of turn 4.
This might be the big one. EJ O'Rourke, and there's the 71 involved. Eric Arnold. Kevin Brown's got hit late.
Yeah, they blocked the entire racetrack. There's just no way for anybody to get through. It's probably a third of the field is sitting over there in that parking lot.
You know who just made... and somebody's got hit again. You know who just made pay dirt after that? Richard Beasley.
Oh yeah, right.
Because he was on the other side of the track now, spinning. Wow.
Wow, crazy. Well, we talk about the pushing and the shoving.
Good grief.
Somewhere in the middle of that. 30 and 21 were involved with the 84, and I just see the 30 car at Macklin was out of control over there.
Let's go. I'm going to just start this lap over and watch from where that was lap 82, or no, 182 was lap 87-ish. Comstock.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to.
I want to go all the way back to Beasley. And Macklin? Okay. Give me a second.
Macklin was the pivotal in.
There are so many things happening. My highlight section here in SDK is overheating. There's too much going on. All right, here we go. All right, so back to the Beasley. Let's go to Beasley first here. So Beasley, I think, is going to try to make a move to the bottom here, and it's going to be too late. He watches coming down, coming down, coming down. I'm in a bad spot now.
I think he was just trying to avoid the 9.
And then, so we're going to keep on just going here now.
Yeah, watch the bumper of the 21 against the back of the 30.
That's right up here, top side. That's what you're talking about. So we're going to see Coleman here. And the check up there, the 2 got the Coleman. They checked up there. And we continue on up front.
Through the grass. And here comes the 21. Just a little tap to the 30 sends him down. The 91 flips him. And then you see like 8 cars collect off.
Oh, that didn't go well. I'm fired. I was trying to click back to go into the wreck, and I totally missed it. Give me a second. We'll show that wreck again. Here we go. You know what happened here? That's not going to be able to show it. Let's just see the wreck first, and then I'll show it. Calantoni's going to get damaged, and they just wad it up.
I think the 30 did his best. The 19 side drafted the 30 and slowed him down a little. I want to see who hit who at the end of this thing.
Yeah,
right
somebody.
Yeah, we saw a big hit right at the end for some reason. I don't know what it was about.
Let's I want to watch this from the far chase again, because what I'm going to show you is something that's very simple to do here. All right, so Macklin's got the run here, and he's got EJ pushing him. Okay, so obviously EJ's going to go down here and work with Macklin, right? So we're going to do this by segments here. So right here, Macklin's kind of in a tough spot because EJ's not directly behind him. So yeah, he's got the push going, he's got the run, but he really doesn't have a drafting partner right now. So it's going to kind of slow him down. Not to mention, he's going to move back up here a little bit and side draft Tyler Dalton. But look what it does when EJ O'Rourke comes down the track. They're not going to hit. They're going to hit kind of square here. Brian goes back up the track. And now EJ's on his left rear. In the middle of the corner. And, I mean, the who's who got clobbered here. I mean, Kevin DeBrown, Fuller. Rodolosso's going to get through it. Stenzel's going to get through it. Fuller actually gets away with it. So does the 84. The 59 or 69 gets through it. Let's add, see, 71, 23. There comes Mike Kelly involved, which completes the broadcaster jinx. Here comes Campbell. He's got smoke in front of him. And here comes the track blocking now. That's Eric Arnold. Let me slam the wall there. I think it's Mike Kelly. No, it's 71, sorry. So Campbell's locking up the brakes here. Misses him.
If you watch the 13 through this.
And bam, he's going to hit. I think
it's a very, very weird incident with the 13 and the 71. See, the 71's pulling away here. 13 locked him up, spun, stopped, And then as he's driving through the incident, he drove across the 71 right here. Now everybody's clear, and they're just driving away here. And the 13 comes in.
Oh!
The 71. Then the 71 comes in and punches him.
Alrighty then.
Punched him right in the nose. But that was very strange. The 13 locked him up. He was way off the back of this incident. Got his car slowed down, locked him up. And then as he was driving away, that incidental contact occurred.
Something tells me the 71 wasn't too happy already with the wreck, and then that deal happened, so he took it out on him. So, Beasley ended up in that wreck. From that whole deal, Richard Beasley, I've got somewhere. Either way, Tyler Dalton leads. Kevin King is second. Rodolasso third. Calantoni, and I still can't find Beasley's name. 16th. There he is. And this is not a green-white checker. Not overtime. We're at lap 92 right now, so 2 laps to go. That was mayhem. And I don't think we're done.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Now it's time to run wide open. Smoke them if you got them, man, because everybody's going to be coming off.
I thought we did that 20 laps ago.
No. Patrick wound up running through. He just muscled his way through a 4-wide. Beasley's got a huge run with Macklin with him.
Well, this is one way to keep it from happening with 2 to go. Just go single file.
For the top line, but here comes another group. Once they break up just a little on the back straightaway, somebody's going to get greedy, and this will bring Beasley and friends into it. Beasley's to the back of the pack around Stony Benfield. He's got the run. Will he duck down? He's going to go down underneath the 7. He's got a big, huge push, and he's going to get turned sideways and crash.
Oh, no.
Macklin wrecked him. Okay, so now this front group really doesn't have much. Here comes the 92 to the bottom. Mitten running in 8th.
Here comes Calantoni. Here comes Wetzel. Rodolasso drops down. Don't think you recognize he's got teammates as Dalton does. But then they get all shuffled up. There goes Wetzel to the top to help him. King is going to get turned.
And the teammates are going to hook nose to tail here, and he's going to push.
Yep. Tyler Dalton gets a Talladega win. Holding off Wetzel and no record across the line.
Well, Rodolasso, 3rd place. Nice run for him to get there.
And oh, by the way, Kev, this is Dalton's first Cup Series win. Out of all that.
Incredible.
The man's got 200 and something poles, and the one thing that's held him back is a Monday victory. Until tonight.
Yeah, Calantoni and the 51, they were elbows up out of turn 4.
Yeah, we'll show the replays here in a second of all of that mayhem that just broke out, but we'll let Tyler celebrate here. And you know, he said to me a couple weeks ago he was kind of upset that he was trying to get the 200th pole on the network, and he ended up getting it Wednesday night, which is still cool, and he ended up getting like a bunch of poles. He said, I keep getting poles on Wednesday. I don't know what the deal is. I'm pretty sure he will trade that statement in for this.
The run for Rod Mitten out in the back there came in for 4th. Pushing the car for 3rd, going across the line. Almost got himself a podium.
He was hanging out in the back all day. He and Rodolasso did a good job. Patrick Colby finishes in the top 5. I mean, Coleman comes back to 10th after the shunt to the infield. I mean, this is a race that mixes up everything.
We talked about it at the onset, how crazy this race was going to be. And there it is, man. That was astonishing.
That was, yeah, that was crazy.
And gave up and tried to figure out who was speeding laps.
The craziest part about this whole entire thing, guys. This is the biggest difference between Sim500 in every league I broadcast. I broadcast 4 of them, and trust me, outside of the 4 leagues, I'm sure it's the same way. But Sim500, it's like they get done. There's people pissed off at each other. But we go look in Discord. Everybody's in one channel watching the replays and stuff and laughing.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Well, Tyler Dalton started on the pole and came away with the win. That's a good night's work, man.
That's a heck of a way to start on the pole and win a race. I mean, a little bit of a Polish victory lap. I'm going to take you back to the restart here. And it's funny, we talked about overtime tonight, and we didn't need it in the end. So let's go back to the restart here and obviously show everything that happened here as much as we can. As a matter of fact, we can actually probably jump to the white flag lap because everything breaks out as they cross the start-finish line here. All right, so let's move ahead a lap. And let me get over to my replay button here because it's actually going to start to break out right here into turn 1. Single file here, and right there, Beasley gets, am I allowed to say daled? By Macklin, I think that is. Where's Beasley?
That was girls going wide. That was push going wrong, man.
Big time push going wrong. But, I mean, you
Didn't
can't
need
blame him.
defense.
He's trying to get him up there to the lead. Let's go faster. And in the 7 car, nowhere to go. Innocent bystander. And that takes Kevin and Boatstone to get involved in that. And then here comes more wrecking. Everybody comes piling in because everybody's brakes seem to go out on the same lap here. And they're still wrecking on the back. There goes a tire. Somebody's, oh, that's a bumper. Never mind. People are still wrecking up there. Somebody hits the inside wall. All right, so we're good now. Let's go back to the finish now. Rod Alasso throws a Hail Mary here. Nothing wrong with that.
He had him going off the corner. If it wasn't for Wetzel pushing the 19,
well,
if it was a head-on race, I think that Rod Alasso might have got him.
And then Kevin gets turned here. That also does not help this move here by Rod Alasso because Kevin was his help.
Yeah.
And Kevin makes the move. He tries to go high side here, I think, and that's when Colby, he's not letting out the gas. Kevin decides to come back down, or actually, did Kevin go to follow? I don't know how that looked. Maybe the 49 went up to help or to protect the move of the 29, but Kevin gets turned.
22nd, I think he ended up. That was a really rags to riches move there for the 9 coming in and backing up his teammate.
Yeah. And then Calantoni and Fuller make contact, come to the line here.
Fuller pulled down on him, and I don't know if he was trying to do a side draft, but just drove right in the side of him, and the two of them banged off each other.
I mean, the good news is they crossed the line without losing a position, basically. But it wadded up everybody after that.
Yeah. I've never seen a hood come up like that. That was cool.
And Calantoni's still getting funked. Here comes EJ. So. All right.
He's going to make it exciting even after the race is over.
Tyler's parked down here at the infield waiting on us. All right, let's look at the results real quick from the Mayhem. That is Talladega Superspeedway's Dalton wins it by 9/100ths of a second over Bobby Wetzel. Matt Rodolasso finishes 3rd. Rod Mitten, Patrick Colby are top 5, with Calantoni finishing 6th. Fuller 7th. Stenzel 8th. Eric Arnold 9th. Chad Coleman 10th. Stoney Benfield gets 11th. Charles Van Schaik 12th. Patrick Blundell 13th. 14th goes to Gerald Livingston and Kevin Stone finishing in the 15th position. 16th to Brian Macklin, Nick Job 17th, Kevin DeBrown 18th, Scott Simley and Nelson Rivera 20th, EJ O'Rourke 21st, Kevin King 22nd, Alan Wild 23rd, Mike Kelly 24th, and Joey Jatina 25th. Doug Sigmund 26th, Darrell Young Jr. 27th, Monson 28th, Joey Stone 29th, and Wesley Donaldson 30th, Jose Gonzalez 31st, Beasley 32nd, Campbell 33rd, Wortman 34th, and Medina 35th. Comstock, Parker, Friery, Holyfield, Giles, and Yoakum 40th and 41st, respectively, as we will talk to the top 3 finishers And we will start with Matt Rodolasso, who gets himself a third place finish tonight. Matt, first thing I want to bring up here is so who in the PR department painted your car to do something like that on your rear so that you knew that the drivers would push you?
Oh yeah, I got to keep them a little bit, occupied back there. So it was worthwhile. I think it was my design. Rod Mitten paints my cars, so that's him.
All right, man. Well, hey, great third place finish. Congratulations. That race had its ups and downs everywhere, and you find a way to survive.
Yeah, that's kind of all I really wanted to do. Is I rode around in the back most of the race up until maybe like the restart with like 23-ish to go, something around there. Just figured it was go time. But yeah, I just wanted to survive. I'd rather have a shot to win at the end and finish 25th from wrecking with 2 to go than, ride around and finish 20th.
Right. And obviously you made that move going into turn 3, going for the win. And for a second it looked good. And then Kevin got spun around and it was like, oh, you had no help below you at all.
Yeah, I had no help, and Tyler was side drafting me. So I know I was kind of dead in the water there. I was just hoping to maybe get back to him, but I just slowed me down so much. So I think he slowed me down like 15 mile an hour or something like that. It was crazy. So I think that was really the only move I had. I really didn't, because I started wrecking behind us initially, and I didn't have anyone right on me anymore. So I was like, well, if I don't go now, when I have a little bit of a run, I don't know if I'll get another one. So I just give it a shot.
Well, it worked out for you, man. Congratulations, and congrats on that third place finish tonight, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, just shout out to Rod painting my car. He tried to get to me at the end there in the tri-oval, just not quite enough runway at the end. And just want to thank you everybody to putting it on, you guys for broadcasting, everyone for putting the league on. I really appreciate it. It's fun coming out every Monday.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks. You guys take it easy.
You too, buddy. As Matt Rodolasso finishing in the third position tonight, congratulations to him. And Kevin, we'll let you talk with the 9-car Bobby Wetzel.
Yeah, Bobby, that was an interesting last lap. Watching you running in 6th, waiting to make your move. Did you think you were going to get up to 2nd by the end of that?
Well, originally I was going to push Anthony Calantoni, and when him and Fuller got side by side, I really don't know what happened, but I guess they touched and it slowed him down, and I only had one option, and I jumped underneath both of them and just pulled up there, and I had the option between Matt and Tyler, and well, Tyler's pushed me to a bunch of wins. I'm sorry, Matt, you haven't.
Yeah, you went up to the high side. I don't know if, with this racetrack, with the start finish being down near turn 1, I'm not sure if there was ever an opportunity to see if you can jump out and wrestle that one away from Tyler, but he looked like he had you covered all the way to the end. And a 1-2 finish for Sim500 Mafia, guys. That's not a bad night's work. It was crazy out there. Was it as frenetic in the car as it looked from our vantage point?
I tell you what, this setup and this race package, from our point of view, is terrible because there's just too much aero. You can just slow cars down. And the middle becomes a sucker hole half the time, and it's horrible. I really wish we would have something that was a little bit more driver centric. Maybe you're never going to save tires here. I'm not going to BS anyone about that, but just something that it takes a little bit more skill set. But it is what it is, and we just have to drive it until NASCAR or iRacing fixes their stuff, and it's just the spot that we're stuck in.
Yeah, I just don't know that I could recall a race that was ever as physical as this one tonight. The beating, the banging, the brushing the wall, the 3 and 4 wide. From the halfway point, it never stopped. It just went all the way right to physically the end of the race. It was incredible.
I tell you what, bring back the tandem. I'm okay with having, even if it's 2 guys in a skill set, I'm good with that. Whatever this is, it's horrible, but it's just what we have to run with, and until something gets fixed or NASCAR figures out, hey, maybe the cars have to have a little bit of, aerodynamics to go down the track without the draft being such a big thing. So iRacing can go, oh, we can fix that too. Until then, we're stuck with this. And I'm just happy to get 2nd place. I'm really happy to push Tyler. Me and Tyler, we've been teammates for years. This is his first Cup Series win, and I'm just glad I was the guy to get him that.
Yeah, there is a sense if it's not going to be you, then it's nice to see somebody that gets their first win and know that you had a hand in it. I have to say, the nostalgia of seeing your car out there. One, it's easy to pick out, and two, the flying flag number 9. It's just kind of cool, old school, and I appreciate you bringing that paint scheme every week. And how about it, Bobby? You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Well, of course, I got to thank all the admin team here at Sim500. I got to thank everyone who puts it on. Joey Katina for putting up with us for years and years. It's just everyone that puts us on. They do a wonderful job. And the thing is, we've got probably the highest level of non-pro drivers. And if anyone really wants to have a challenge, they need to come out, sign up with us, and just give it their all and see what they got.
There you go. Bobby Wetzel, second place finish tonight here at Talladega after a long night's work and a well-deserved podium. Congratulations, Bobby, on that. And we'll turn now to our first-time winner. Chris Scala is caught up with the absolutely ecstatic Tyler Dalton. I can't imagine what it's like to get your first win against this field of talented drivers, and Chris is going to tell us about it.
For him to go to victory lane for the first time and have a red number 9 pushing him into victory lane, which is kind of interesting in itself. But needless to say, Tyler, I know a couple weeks ago you messaged me and said, well, I wanted to get that 200 pole on your channel, but you get it in the truck series, and I keep getting polls on Wednesday night. I'm pretty sure you're about to trade every one of those messages to me for this.
Is this real? Are you sure?
That's what it says
wow.
on the board.
Wow. Honestly, this was a moment for many times that I wondered was ever going to happen. We had been close so many times, just never could seem to get it done. If you ask me which track, this would not have been one of the ones for sure. We were in decent plate tracks, normally get wrecked out. Normally start on the pole and get wrecked out. Thought Wesley qualifying Thursday and about cost me the pole. That was awfully close, but man, that last lap, I don't really know Matt that well, but on that last restart, I knew the bottom just did not get going, as evident from the beginning of the race. So I knew I had to take the top, and Matt stayed with me and was pushing me, and then I knew he was going to eventually, try to go for it and move out of line, and he went for it going in the 3, got right on the door and side drafted and tried to suck him back, and I looked in my mirror, and all I could see was that Go Mango number 9 back there. It's like a guardian angel coming. Honestly, there's not a single car that I'd rather have seen in my mirror at that point. Bobby could have easily pulled out of line, probably got the win himself there. I can't thank him enough. I know he got a win at a plate track here, and now we finally got us a win, but just thanks a ton to Bobby. We couldn't have done it without him.
How much relief does this bring you, knowing, because, you even made the comment a couple nights ago, or it might even been last night, where I forget how the conversation went or whatever, but you made the comment of, yeah, but you got to win already. I think it was to Wesley you said that too. You got to win already, like that. And here, 24 hours later, you've got your win now.
Yeah, I just felt like I could win in every series but Mondays. Trucks got to win this season. Xfinity got to win this season. Just could not get it done on Mondays. I was up there. I was second in points. We were getting, a lot of third place finishes, running up front. Everybody knew we were there. Just couldn't get those last few spots. So close so many times last year with some strategy calls I made, and literally was leading with like 1 or 2 to go. Just never could get it done. I don't know. It feels surreal. It probably will set in more tomorrow that I finally pulled it off on a Monday night.
Obviously, the racing, I know Bobby had some interesting words to say about the racing out there when it comes to just the package, not necessarily the people out there racing. From our vantage point, it was awesome. Was it? How was it on your side?
The runs you would get were massive. There was a couple moves I made that were borderline sketchy that were probably fun to watch on the broadcast. I know when I got by Jose, and I think I forgot who was on the inside, but I don't think you could fit a piece of paper there. And then that move that ultimately got me the lead, we had a huge run on the pack in front of us with Bobby pushing me, and EJ went up the block going into the troval, and I went all the way to the very top at the very bottom, and somehow had them all clear by the time we got to the start-finish line. And then looked like EJ was pushing Macklin in middle 1 and 2 there. Might have pushed him up into me, but that got us the lead at that point. It was just really almost out of your hands at that point, other than you just got to put yourself in the right spots and hope the people behind you go with you.
Well, it worked out for you, man. Congratulations. Welcome to Victory Lane. And the Cup side of things, you're the, 12th winner in 14 races now at Talladega on the Cup side. So congratulations, and send some shout-outs over your lake, too.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody at NT811 and SC811. Make sure you call before you dig. Always a great sponsor for the series. Great to get a win with their logo on the hood. Thank Trend Service Logistics. Always a great sponsor for our Wednesday night series, and they've sponsored our Cup series in the past. Glenn Campbell was a great ambassador for them, and he's always supported the series with Trend Service. I want to thank all of them. Thank all the guys down there in the Sim500 Mafia. We were working really good together that entire race. There was plenty of times we had 4 or 5 of us lined up in a row, and were able to go about where we wanted. It was a lot of fun being down there with those guys, and it always is every week. I want to thank you for put on the broadcast. Not many of the broadcasts you go back each week and you just want to watch to see for entertainment, but yours is definitely one of them. You got one of the top-notch broadcasts. I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast for us.
I appreciate that, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and go celebrate. They're not taking this one from you because it's yours.
Good on you, Tyler. Good
Thank
on
you.
man. You got the first one now. Good, get a bunch more. Come on.
See what I can do.
Absolutely, man. First one's usually the hardest, so let's see what Tyler Dalton can do. So congratulations to him as he goes to Victory Lane tonight, and he can go down there and laugh with the crew now as they're down there enjoying their time in the room. And literally, I wish I could show you this because I don't have my screen set up to where I can show my other screen, but there is at least 2, 4, 6. There are probably about 20 people right now in one channel right now. And part of it's they're reviewing the race because they've started to kind of award incident points to wrecks or whatever. But half of them are down there just laughing at the wrecks and stuff. And it's that kind of crazy thing. So, but kudos to everybody in this league. Let me go see if the points are updated because I can get us an official lead change count and stuff after this race. You have to wait till the race is completed here to get the numbers. We had 40 lead changes on 17 leaders, 7 cautions, 21 laps. So that part's a record, unfortunately. But, Tyler did everything right tonight, and here's your proof. He had the highest average running position tonight of 6.8, and that just says enough right there. Cody Giles, which unfortunately only lasted a couple laps. Callan Tony ran up front. Wesley Donaldson ran up front. A lot of these guys right here had the higher numbers and stuff, and that's the cool thing about this website, to be able to see numbers like that. It's just proof that they were able to find their way to the front, and they did their part tonight. So, Joey, man, or Joey, I'm Kevin. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care.
Dinner,
yeah, right. Was that what we expected and more?
Yeah. It is. I told you it was going to be physical. I didn't think it was going to be that physical. Just the sheer amount of moving around. Typically what you find is the aggression comes from the top line forming and getting a run, but the amount of movement from top to bottom to side to banging and crashing, and I'm just astonished that we didn't have 20 cautions tonight. They were on kill, and I don't know that I agree with Bobby's sentiment because I didn't have to drive the car,
right.
And it was entertaining to watch, and I don't want him to change a thing. I'm in the Dale Earnhardt mode. That was awesome.
It was wild to watch, and I understand some of his points there, but we've always wanted to have a package where you can get out there and race. We've seen packages before where it was single file, you couldn't do anything. So to be able to go out there and race and see the not so darty moves anymore that the car was doing that when it first came out, it's cool to see that. But man, we
love this part of the season too, right? We just saw an amazing race at the biggest racetrack. We go to a mile concrete with high bank, 1.5 miles Kansas, and then we go to the track too tough to tame. The middle schedule this year is astonishing. It's going to be some amazing races the next couple weeks.
Yeah, come and join us each and every Monday night. We're here for you. to enjoy some great racing, just like you saw at Talladega tonight. So, man, what a race it was. Congratulations, Tyler Dalton. 109 starts into his Cup Series career here at Sim500. He gets his first win this evening. So he joins that long list of drivers that have gotten at least one win in the series. So nice job on his part. Kevin, appreciate your time, man. Go get some rest, and we will talk again next Monday.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
You too. And appreciate Kevin for joining us as always. And big shout out to NC811 for sponsoring the series. And also a big shout out to all the viewers for watching tonight. That was a fun show to be able to broadcast to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be watching this later on tonight and into tomorrow. So big shout out to everybody. This was a lot of fun to be a part of. Big shout out to Joey Jatina. And man, let's usually I show like all the highlights and the wrecks and things like that. Let's just go watch the last 2 laps of this race and enjoy the finishes. It was a wild one here from Talladega. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.